Oh, I'm sharing it really early.
Whoa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Bit of spoilers there. If you caught it, you caught it. Welcome. ZLTAC 2025 prediction stream. I forgot to add labels for everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm doing that now. Amazing. Today, well, for one, I'm crossing my fingers that for those of you who were in the stream yesterday, I'm crossing my fingers that my fucking internet doesn't cut out like 3 times. And so if that happens, bear with us. It will come back. But otherwise, today I'm joined by Zam, Method, and Pugsalad. Hello. How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello.
Hola.
How we doing?
Amazing. Cool. So, I'm gonna move the chat. Where I'm gonna put it? I'm gonna put it there. Cool. So, yeah, brewski in hand.
Literally.
Everyone's got a brewski. Chat. If you don't have a brewski in hand, go get one.
Get comfy.
If you're underage, go get a soda pop or something. I don't know. Go get an orange juice, cup of milk. Sure, that'll do it. Amazing. So, prediction stream. We've got 24 teams to go through, so we're going to get right into it very soon. But just before we do, a couple things. One, I'm going to try out a new format today. I'm going to call it System D, like Virtual System D or System D emulation, where based on the, or 23 teams, sorry, based on the community predictions that all of you guys put in, I then got the average rank for each of the teams, put them in order, and then I've put them into basically a virtual System D, and we're just going to talk about each of the teams in the context of the elimination game. So we're going to be talking about 3 teams at once. After each of those discussions, there's going to be 2 teams that are eliminated, and they won't be discussed anymore, but whoever team wins, they'll move on to the next batch of discussion. So, yeah, that's kind of the format I wanted to try today, just because I thought talking about it in the context of elimination games is really interesting. And also 23 teams, I wanted to try and do it in one stream. It was the quickest way I could think of doing it. So I've done the whiteboard method previously, but you know, it's LSA. I'm going to do what I want, and I want to try a different method. So
I'll do it.
I'll leave that.
That's yeah. Yeah, amazing. What else was there? Yes. So the second thing, I haven't made a post for it yet because I only just decided to do it today at the behest of Mikey and his suggestion. Laser Sports Academy, we're going to do an MVP and a Most Improved Player award. So I actually just bought and paid for and some custom medals to get sent to Sunny Coast. I've asked the ZLTAC committee, so if I can, I'll present those at the presentation dinner. If not, then it'll just be something I just like, I don't know. I'll figure out how to do it. But fingers crossed, hopefully I can do it at presentation dinner, because realistically, it shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to go up, be completely sober, and then present a couple medals and then head off the stage. So that's so there's a committee member in the chat. If you could pass that message along and let me know, that'd be cool. But yeah, just figured there's not like just a way to kind of, I don't know, get some LSA rep, you know? Who really cares who won if you got the LSA Most Improved or MVP, right? That's the
MVP
real
now.
Yeah.
All team strats. Protect my TR.
Protect my TR at all fucking costs. Amazing. Cool. I haven't got anything else to say other than getting into the thick of it.
He said it.
Oh. Have you guys got anything you want to say, or you just wanna? We're just gonna get rowdy. We're just gonna do it.
Let's get rowdy.
Let's get into it.
Let's get rowdy. All right. Amazing. So I will stream my share my screen. Boom. Boom. Amazing. Yeah, so as you can see, we have our virtual System D all the way into grand finals. So because Catalyst were first and second on the ladder, they're locked in for the grand finals, and it's going to be based on the discussions who's going to end up in that third place spot. So congrats to Catalyst and Spartans. Well done.
Haven't even played yet.
Studs.
We don't know.
Amazing. Yeah, let's just get right into the news. So, in our first elimination game, we have Absolute Debacle, Parasomnia, and Tsunami fighting to not get the wooden spoon. So what I might do is I might actually, I have them, all the teams over here in some kind of an order. There we go. Let's get them down here so we can just see all the players next to each other and talk about them. Parasomnia, boom, and Tsunami. Yeah, you know. Anyway,
Wait, that's a throwback song. That is a throwback song.
You're welcome. Alrighty. Wooden Spoon game. Absolute Debacle with Master Guardian, Nessica, Celtic, Mum. Though Mum's not on the roster anymore, as far as I'm aware. Is that right, Pug? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. No Mum anymore.
No Mum.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Me too. Wildcard, Gizmo, Gravy, and then Parasomnia WA team with Tech 205 featuring Stonk from Adelaide, Jet, Phoenix, Muffin, and Spoonman, and then we have Timmy Trumpet, Tsunami. Is it Timmy Trumpet? Is that who does that song?
Oh, probably. Yeah. It's also a throwback. I've never listened to a Timmy Trumpet song in
a wave. I feel like I'm riding a wave. Yeah.
Wait,
you know?
Wait, you're on.
I'm
I'm
on.
a big fan.
Roller coaster inside of a maze. Anyway, with Dorky, Gripsy, Shania Renee, 7, Basilisk, Artemis, and Kielos 3. Gentlemen, maybe Method, you can start us off since we got 2 WA teams in there.
My WA team.
And we have some old farts in there, and you're on your way, so you can get us started.
No worries. Yeah, look, I think my first thing is, hey, this is I cannot imagine any other team being in the Wooden Spoon game but these 3 teams. So not too surprised here. We've got 2 development teams from WA, a few that have played before, but we're kind of in the development side. So I think Tech Deck's probably going to have to do a lot for Parasomnia, and got a Bolter.
XPR.
And I know they're gonna. I mean, Phoenix hasn't turned up to training much. I think he's been a bit injured, so I'm a bit worried for that team injuring themselves because Muffin has knee problems already. He's like 45.
Oh wow.
He's a bit heavy, so he's not very good on his knees.
He's also like 20, isn't
he? Yeah,
he's a young guy.
Like 21 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But luckily, he'll be able to hold green really well because he can just see right over it. Doesn't have to crouch.
Full height, yeah. Stretching his arms as well, actually.
On his tippy toes, yeah. He'll be really good there, so watch out. But no, I think they're probably slated to win this game just with a bit more experience. Jet or Midget has played for so many years now. Can hang out. Spoonman had a okay showing in Albury, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on this team. When they actually have players. And I think they'll probably win this one. Tsunami are pretty much hoping Kielos 3 can go like, to quote him, I think he's a league merchant, and
sure.
He just loves to farm, So maybe he'll pop off in these lower end games because he'll be able to do stuff, but he does not comm at all. He won't Commodore. He's not very good at coming home and swapping out an attack. He just stays out kind of things. So, that's kind of what we're pinning our hopes on, I think, for Tsunami. So,
do you think some of the Tsunami players will get a shock at Nats compared to their usual playing, or have you guys prepped them to be like, this is a serious thing?
I think they're pretty prepped.
Nice.
Like they're not expecting to be anywhere but here, I think, in this bottom 3 games. So I think they've got pretty realistic expectations. But yeah, like Ripsy's pretty solid at home, so he'll be pretty decent, be learning, kind of like a door defender type player. Problem is they have maybe 3 other door defender type players. 4, 5. So I think that's where they're going to struggle. Is that it's going to be a lot of people who want to play defense, and then Keelos the only one who really wants to go out there and get anything done. So they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with that. Dorky can be a solid left-hander, which would be great. Janai is also a left-hander, which could be handy. So they've got a little bit of utility there. Artemis, very new to our league scene and our net scene, so super keen, training really hard, but very fresh. So they're going to just be figuring it out. And then I can just see Master Guardian just farming everyone. Some reason Master Guardian.
Dude, he puts some massive stats out there, doesn't he? Sometimes?
He just destroys people in these
He's
lower
so
tier
quiet
games.
about it too. He won't
Walk
speak
around
up. He'll just walk out.
Rifleman.
12k.
Bam, comes out with 12k, 150 TR, 2 bases, no worries. So
That's
this is his
stud.
element.
Yeah.
I literally can see him just like solo carrying this game as well. So I think it's pretty much between them and Parasomnia, and I actually don't know who to give the edge to. Someone else go.
Well, I actually had some follow-up questions. So obviously, a lot of these WA players they played the WA Clash. So Method and Pug, did any of them have a standout performance at WA Clash? Like any really promising signs or anything?
I thought what did you say, Keelos? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, I thought he was really good. Like he'd come to my door, shit on me, and leave, which was kind of what happened at Clash for me anyway. But I don't know. I did see moments when I was reffing that he would go to a base by himself and just try to get in, but get shot out quite often, and then just repeat it until someone was just yelling at him to come home. So I do see how he does have problems with that. But overall, I thought his timing was really good, and I think he could probably really perform well if he just, I don't know, fixes that problem, I guess. And then Muffin. Muffin played extremely well. I'll glaze him a little, but extremely well in in Clash. I thought it was pretty hard to duel against him when I saw him.
So what position did they play normally?
Muffin, I think, was captaining a bit of it when Gaza wasn't. So I thought
We expect him on a door.
Well, yeah, I think he will be on the door for this sense. Yeah.
I think Muffin has improved a heap in the last few months, especially compared to when he came to Prenats 1. He's really leveled up since then, so hopefully he'll continue to do so. Another big comp. I feel like Nats is when everyone gets a lot better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's so funny watching newish players, or even just like second or third Nats players, go to a Nats and then go back to a training session. I reckon they'll instantly understand. Their awareness will be so much higher. I think I'm in a similar wave though about Absolute Debacle, maybe more of a fun team. We're probably seeing a Wooden Spoon that way. And then Parasomnia has an edge over Tsunami.
Yeah, I see it as Parasomnia beats Tsunami, who beat Absolute Debacle. I think Absolute Debacle.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. Absolute Debacle still has a bunch of names that everyone knows, but I think it's more of a fun social Nats. And then Wildcard will come and do a bunch of media work. He did a bunch of media work at Prince 2 and 3. Spoonman as well will do really well, and Parasomnia I think is always keen as one of our newer world players as well.
Yeah,
I think I'm happy with that.
I think so. For me, I just looking at the names and stuff. We're talking about Master Guardian. Talk about a fucking league merchant. He just farms in these lower tier games. Gizmo's been training almost every week in Adelaide. And we have H Pro at home now on the timing and stuff, and he's still actually able to put on quite a pace as well. So I think in this Wooden Spoon game, he's probably gonna be causing quite a bit of problems down that way as well.
Sure.
Gravy hasn't been training, so I don't really know what to expect from them. Wildcard is obviously he's a decent player. So I guess for me, I would probably put Absolute Debacle above Tsunami. Just missing out on that Wooden Spoon because of those. factors, but I guess it's all dependent on like these unknown factors of Gripsy, Artemis, and Keelos 3, like how well they do in another arena on H Pro. Like, there's definitely a world where they just lock in and they just get it. In which case, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Absolute Debacle. But I think for me, there's like too many unknowns, and there's like enough we know about Absolute Debacle that I feel like I could safely say I think they would beat Tsunami. But I guess you mentioned Tsunami. They have 3 lefties, or was it 2 lefties?
They might have 3. I can't remember if Artemis is lefty or not. Definitely Dorky and
Two or more. Yeah.
I think Artemis is also lefty, so I think they've got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pug, like, what's your opinion? Do you think? So I think that there's not actually that many like super strong lefty spots in Sunny Coast, like in the bases. Like, what do you reckon? Like Green 7, for instance, I feel like.
But like Moss and Husky play it.
I was gonna say
goats. Yeah,
Husky absolutely can. I don't know if the comparison there is equal. To be fair, to Decepticon.
No,
yeah,
definitely not.
think.
But like,
I don't think it's a fair comparison, and also they get to play it every week. I feel like naturally, the transition from being able to shoot back, like you're watching front, and being able to shoot back, it's easier for a right-hander than like the other way around.
Yeah, I think green is like a righty sort of favored base, but then I think red and blue are sort of lefty favored because
really.
Yeah, well, lefty and blue are front pock is annoying for me to at least crack out if they're just watching you, and then in back pocket red, if they're just sitting there, they have the easier shot because as a righty you have to cross shot for backdoor. So
yeah, definitely backdoor red's a bit. Back pocket red's pretty strong. But I also feel like people aren't typically staying in the front pocket at blue because there's the little shot.
Yeah, I guess so. But if it's a lefty, they just move down and they have the natural shot, right? Whereas righties will still have to cross shot to watch backdoor. I guess you can do it vice versa from righty being on backdoor, but I don't know. I feel like
to me, only green seems to matter. I feel like that seems to be the only best way lefty might give you an edge. I think blue you're running between the walls anyway, and red the switch shot.
Between the pockets,
you have
so
time
much,
for switch shots anywhere. But if it's not comparable, then maybe that's not the case. I don't know. I still see Absolute Debacle getting below them. I think Absolute Debacle will misread a game and dump too early. Is how I read the game going, and the other teams will.
All 3 of these
if
teams
they dump late enough, they could beat Tsunami. That's true, but I think Absolute Debacle will do it first. I think if they hold themselves out and dump later and just trust that they're still in the game for long enough, then they could get an edge of a Tsunami. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Mikey also pointed out that in the chat, surely Absolute Debacle combined have like one of the highest wooden spoon game counts.
Dude, what an awesome stat! That's huge. Someone's gonna.
But I think I feel like quite often they I don't know what the stat is of like wooden spoon games versus wooden spoon receival. I feel like thinking back, they just make it out of that wooden spoon most of the time, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I could be wrong. Someone can fact check.
Sometimes they dodge it for sure. I'm not sure.
All right, let's decide.
Yeah, so you guys, I think definitely Parasomnia first.
For sure.
Are you guys still Tsunami second?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on Tsunami second.
I think I'm swung, but either way, we can put Debacle in third. I now do think Tsunami might edge over Absolute Debacle, but we have 4 numbers, so I in fact take that back, and I now think Tsunami is second.
Amazing.
I'll just back them.
All right, amazing. All right, we can do that. Not Tsunami. So we have Parasomnia moving on out of the wooden spoon game, and we have Absolute Debacle in 23rd. And what am I doing? This is how I was gonna do it, wasn't it? Yeah. I had the name appearing 3 times.
Yeah,
whatever. Cheeseberry. Absolute Debacle in 23rd, Tsunami in 22nd. I'm getting a bunch of Facebook messages. I'll make sure it's not someone making sure I haven't bugged something up. Well, it's just run. Don't worry about that. No, actually, I will just do it now. So a quick shameless plug. Oceanic Championships is next year. I think it's slated to be in November or something. If you haven't been paying attention, it's going to be a like European style tournament where it's like 1 shot per second, stands, like all of those kinds of things, held in Hobart. I think this 13 team cap, and the way that's worked out is it's through like qualification points at other tournaments. So your performance at this nationals could have a very, very big impact on whether you're able to qualify you or your team for Oceanic Championships. So shameless plug over. There you go, Rant.
Sounds like a
amazing. It should be. It sounds like it's. I think it's going to be a fucking awesome time. Anyway, moving on to our 21st, 20th game. We have Kitsune, Dingoes, and Parasomnia. So let me grab. I'll get rid of those guys. We'll get Dingoes.
Do we want to start talking as you do this?
Yeah, you guys can start talking. I don't really mind who goes first. Maybe Pug. Pug, you can go first.
I gotta find the teams as well.
Okay, so I'll go through the whole rosters. So we have Parasomnia. Same team. I won't bother going through that again. Kitsune, we have, that's the Finn development team. So that's got Arden, Jam from Queensland, Garnet, Krusty, and Bluely. And then the Dingoes is Bubbles, Tricky, Battlebot, 123, Prince, Spudo, Infuse Jr., and Fielta. Newbie.
I don't think Bluely's going anymore. Right?
Yeah, I heard
he not?
his collarbone.
He hurt his collarbone. Yeah, he like broke it or something.
I did hear
Was that playing? Did he do that playing?
No, I don't think so.
No,
no, he fell off his bike.
With his motorbike, yeah, I think.
That'll do it.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Yep.
That'll do it. Yeah, that's a shame. Finn, you're in the chat. Have you got a replacement for Bluely, or is that you guys are just rocking 5 now?
There's no replacement for Peter.
No, that's true.
Rocking 5.
That was poor choice of words.
No.
Okay, Pug. Continue.
Yep. Okay. So I do think Parasomnia definitely don't go any further. I think Kitsune and Bubbles have the Dingoes have the attacking power.
Crazy.
Have the attacking power.
Crazy, bro.
Have the attacking power to like definitely just roll through them. I think Finn and Jam will probably get their 4, or they get their 2, and they'll be done. Bubbles will get his and be done.
Yeah.
I think Bubbles will also like push his team through pretty easily. I
really do think Prince can get his bases, and Tricky maybe.
Yeah, I have no idea. I played them once or twice in Auburn, and that's all I can really remember. But yeah, I think I don't see Kitsune's defense holding up too well if Jam is not there, because Finn will be captaining. So I guess whenever he's out, they'll lose a base or 2, unless they play with 4. But I don't know. I'll see how they go. And yeah, I think I just see Bubbles kind of sweeping through this team or the other teams quite a bit. So I think I'll put them above the other 2 teams, and then followed by Kitsune and Parasomnia.
Yeah. Zam, you wanna go next, bro?
Yeah, I originally had Kitsune actually above Dingoes. I do think Parasomnia might get a win over maybe Kitsune throughout the comp, but in this last game, I don't think they're gonna have. I think Kitsune's gonna sharpen up. I just thought Finn having Jam really strong. Originally, also having Bluely, I think is quite a reliable player on their team. Without him, now maybe Dingoes have an edge over them. But I think their base power is pretty similar. It's just who's gonna, I guess, yes, it's a dump situation again, where if Dingoes can hold their head together, like I think Bubbles likes to yap at his team sometimes when they're not in the right position on attack.
Crash out is the word.
He might crash out a couple of times, but that's not only him thing, you know. I mean, Finn and Jam and a couple other players. If he can hold his head, I think Dingoes will take it over Kitsune.
Yeah.
But if Kitsune play a really good dump strategy or counter in this game, then I think they could take it over Dingoes. But I imagine Dingoes will get there.
Yeah.
Without Bluely.
Method, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I agree. I think Parasomnia are going to struggle to do it on the final day against these teams, just down pure firepower, like we've said. But I think, you know, depending on how well the new players do for Kitsune, we could see an upset. If they do perform really well. We kind of know the Dingoes players, and they're solid, but they're not carrying games, other than Bubbles. And I do think Finn is actually better at carrying games than Bubbles. So if these other players pop off, I could see Finn just running circles around them and just taking a past this game.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
And Finn's got more room to grow as well. He's a young lad. You know, go to the next level.
Young lad, spoken like a true old lad method.
I'm an old man, yeah. Look.
Good man. Yeah, I'm in agreement with all of you. Yeah, I think Parasomnia is probably maxed out here. I wouldn't be surprised if Kitsune gets an upset, but I would expect Dingoes to win this game for all the reasons we said, unless there's a big Dingoes crash out.
Yeah. Which could happen. Or Kitsune play a really good strat into a dump somehow or something.
Yeah.
Or they react first or whatever. Like.
100%. All right. Well, that seems like we seem like we're all in agreement there. Has anyone got any last bits they want to say?
Not
Pretty happy. Keen to see the Dingoes. Haven't seen many of those players in a while.
Yeah. Were they at the last Nats? Were they in Albury? I think it was just... Was it just Bubbles and Tricky playing with other people?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Then Tricky came to a pre-nats. Did Bubbles come to a pre-nats as well?
Actually, no, because I think I remember... I think I remember a classic crash out Bubbles moment, and it was definitely at multiple Darwin people, so I think there was a thing.
Okay, maybe. Cool memory.
Cool memory. That's one way to say it. Amazing. Okay, so that's Parasomnia. Won the first game, but finishing out in 21st. We have Kitsune. Absolutely can expect. Wouldn't be surprised if they're able to pull it together and, you know, do the right things in the last game and make it through. But I think we have to. If I was a betting man, I'd be placing money on the Dingoes winning this game.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We'll do it though. I want that on tape.
All right, there you go. Someone clip Method saying, "I think Kitsune will do it." Amazing. So you can have your. I told
It'd be a
you
good game. Like they've done well.
Yeah.
I think if they win it.
Amazing. So vying for 19th, 18th, and to move on, we have the Dingoes, Kelpies, and Tugboats. So allow me to get the teams over.
He's so quick. He's so quick with it.
You know it is. Something of a spreadsheet.
You got rid of the wrong
wizard.
team though.
Did I?
Yeah, Parasomnia.
Yeah.
No.
Clean.
Amazing. Alrighty. In this next game, we have the Dingoes. I won't go through the team list again, but we have the Kelpies. So this is something like a amalgamation team. We've got Four Eyes and Lycan from New Zealand. Worthy, Clams, new player, Boots.
No Worthy, perhaps? Check chat.
No Worthy.
Maybe.
Interesting. All right. Well, there you go. We'll do that. So it's a 5-man team now. 2 Benbos. I'll leave it. And then we have 2 Queensland players. We have Benbow and we have Boots. And then Tugboats, we have Tagora, Trady, Zygariza, Paxo, and Guerrero. Does anyone know, is Tagora the guy from New Zealand that's like 7 foot tall?
Yeah, he's the tall, lanky one.
He was really good. He was really,
yes.
really good. And I feel like, who was Trady? I feel like I remember.
I remember seeing the name.
Well.
They're playing the same team, but they. This is at Worlds we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the name.
Guerrero was like the shorter gentleman. He's the one that split his hand open, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
When he tripped on the floor or something, he caught it on his hand or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
So we know all these names as from Worlds, right?
From Worlds.
Yeah.
I
think they all played.
Oh no, that was Blick. Blick was the one that split his hand. Guerrero is someone else. I'm not sure who. I can't remember who Guerrero is. Apologies. Anyway, who was to go first? Zam, you haven't gone first yet, and we've got some players from Worlds there, so you can go.
True. My
Mr.
big thing was
Mr.
going to
Zampian.
be that. Okay, hold on. My big thing was going to be that I don't know enough about the tugboats, but I literally do because I was at Worlds and have seen them play a little bit.
Sausage.
So I was very concerned about where they would place in this game. I'm not sure like how they're feeling in terms of I'm not even sure who of that team is on H2 perhaps.
I think they play on H Pro.
Are they on H Pro? They are.
So
they're
they
on
only
H
got H2 for Worlds. They're normally a
Right.
H Pro site, and I think they're back to
Okay,
H
that's
Pro
good.
now.
That's huge for them then.
And
But I
Mikey's
think a lot of
just
these players-
reminded me that Guerrero is he worked at the site. He was the taller gentleman with glasses.
Yeah,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, no, I can see some faces, but I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I can see them faces
And-
in the game.
And yeah, for those that haven't met Tagora that didn't go to Worlds, Mikey also described it. He's basically like the Link of New Zealand, but like a foot taller, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's insane, but
It's
he
insane.
moves really well.
Oh my god, that guy!
Anyway,
I want to see that guy in
continue,
green base.
The ramp will be over for us.
True. That guy will be Tagora will be crouching on one knee, and you can still see his shoulders.
He's gonna
100%.
ref over the wall and like turn people down in like green front door from the mez.
100%.
I do think it's probably Kelpies to win this now. I think they seem to have really strong players. I think both of these Queensland players are fairly strong. I think Benbo's very slept on. He might be around, but I think he's worried that like people don't know enough, and I reckon he's going to show them this comp. Is Clamps is a WA player? Is that correct, Method?
Nah.
Damn, I thought I'd think that real
Didn't
quick.
he play? Isn't he a Canberra player? I thought he played on the.
Isn't this a Canberra
he
team?
totally is a Canberra. He is. Yeah. You're so
Yeah.
true. I just trust Lycan's comms and confidence in herself for his pack ability. I think Bembo will be very strong. Boots will have the maze knowledge as well. So I think they're going to take it over everyone else. I think Tugboats probably will play the dump better than Dingoes if there is a dump. Because I'm not sure if Dingoes will be able to find each other in this maze in time to orchestrate themselves to get somewhere at the right time. So I think I have Kelpies and then Tugboats to then have Dingoes is what I'm currently thinking or sitting.
Mhm.
Is that controversial? What are people thinking?
No, I think
agree.
I would probably agree, though. I mean, we've got the asterisks for Tagora, Trady, and Paxo, but I mean,
They have experience.
they were all at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
And they have H Pro at home, and yeah, I don't remember the other two well enough, but I remember Tagora and Guerrero in particular. They were quite good. Pardon me. Boots is obviously, I mean, she's a home site player, but I've only seen her maybe 2 trainings. Pug, have you seen her?
I haven't seen her since pre-2.
Yeah,
Pre-2?
so
Maybe
home site
pre-2.
player, but it's not like they're training super often. So I think that's like a little bit of info worth putting out there. Bembo has been at almost like every single training session I've seen. So yeah, he could definitely cause some problems this game. So I think again, if I was a betting man, I would definitely back like the firepower of Four Eyes, like in kind of, you know, good comms and stuff. I think Boots, when I have seen her playing, she was in last line and she was actually doing quite well. And I played my first QPL teams in Sunny Coast, was on the team with Boots, and she was doing quite good, like really good comms on the door. So I would expect Kelpies to win this game, but I wouldn't at all be surprised if Tugboats took it over them. Again, it's just a bit of a, you know, we'll find out soon enough. But
Yeah.
I agree that I don't think I see the Dingoes coming out on top of either of these terms.
Yeah, that's where my head's at, I think.
Yeah, I think losing Worthy hurts the Kelpies a bit though.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, that would have really given them just that extra little bit of firepower. So, if Bembo's as good as you guys say, though, maybe they're good.
Yeah, I'm his number 2 fan behind Wax, I think. That guy's got mad faith in him.
Yeah. So, like, if he can pop off, you know, his arena, you get a lot done. Four Eyes will be the best player in this arena, like, without a doubt. So, like, he's going to pop off and he can hard carry better than even Bubbles.
Even Bubbles.
Even bubble. But yes, and he's kind of used to these games because he's played on these development teams and stuff, and and solid, plays a good team role, get everyone, be that glue kind of person.
Yeah,
So
for
that'll
sure.
be good. But the tugboats, they've come from Worlds, which was probably a crazy learning experience.
Mm.
When they're in this
Yeah.
part of the competition, they just need to think back to how bad Worlds was playing against these stacked teams, and they'll be fine. Just
They'll
start
be fine.
cooking.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So-
It's a good question to raise. Like Mikey mentions, like who actually is captaining. Does anyone have any information on this? My weird guess is that Tagora and Trady are out first, actually, with Tagora captain.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm not actually sure. It could be Paxer out.
I can't remember who was captaining. I thought Tagora and Trady and Guerrero were on the same team as Four Eyes on what were they called?
Yeah, they were, weren't they? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought 4 Eyes captain.
Yeah, maybe.
They were called. Fuck, I can't remember. It was too long ago.
Was it the Reapers or was it the other one?
Reapers. Could have been
Probably.
Reapers.
No, it was the
Maybe.
Reapers. That they were called. It's up with a T. That was a cool name. And it's like a
Tunnifel?
melody. It's like a melody like water spirit. What the fuck is
It's
that?
like-
name?
Tagora's
What?
captaining.
It's Tanifa
Yeah.
or something, right?
Tanifa.
Tanifa,
Tanifa, that's
yes.
the one.
Tanifa! Okay,
Yeah,
I'm so
something
there.
like
I
Yeah,
forgot
Colin
oh,
just
now
said
that I
me in
remember
chat.
that.
Wait, that's actually... Wait. This guy's got it. He's sorted. So it is him captain.
Yeah, they were like the next best New Zealand team, right? At Worlds.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. Okay, then
Yeah.
they might do well. I can imagine them taking over copies.
I've got a bit of faith in them, actually. I know.
As of now?
Yeah, I got better faith. Yeah.
Yeah.
After this conversation, I got a bit of faith.
Oh.
I don't know. I just got a good feeling.
I think Kelpies will still take it out. I don't know.
Gotta go against
I'm a Bembo supporter as well. I think he's kind of crazy and in a lower end sort of game. I think he'll do pretty well. But
Yeah, I think it's like manage Benbow for Kelbies. It's Bubbles managing his whole team, and then it's Tugboats like trying to make sure they're not behind at the start of the game. I think, and then that's all of their win conditions. But I do think
If
Kelbies take
Tugboats
it.
are a better team and can handle the firepower of like Four Eyes, they'll probably win the game. That's really, I think, what it comes to.
Yeah, true.
they're not all from Silverdale, right? Like some of them play at different sites, or are they?
So I thought some of them may have been Dunedin.
It might be Dunedin.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Which in that case they'd be on H2.
Which I thought was H. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
question was. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm sure.
Has everyone said their piece? Has anyone not said their piece yet?
Yeah, do we have a consensus mostly?
I think we all have Dingoes coming last this game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I see that.
And then are we in agreement that Tugboats then Kelpies, but wouldn't be surprised if Tugboats won? Is that what we're all sitting on?
I'm claiming Tugboats will win, but I'll set on.
True.
Feeling
I'm
it.
in agreement with what you said. Yes.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you, Holmes.
Okay, I think that's majority then.
All right. Well,
The Kelpies
once
still
again,
win.
say it again method. Someone
Yep.
clip it.
Tugboats
It'd be so
are winning
good.
this game. No, wait, I gotta look at my camera. Tugboats. Where were you?
Your camera. Look up, bro.
Look up.
Your webcam.
Because I,
The
no,
thing
I
that's
went to look at
filming
what
you.
place they're not going to be eliminated in.
Look at my
Oh.
camera.
Tugboats are going to do it. That's what you need.
That's huge. No, that's good. If you actually soul read like several teams,
I got to get one right.
upsetting. Yeah, I reckon one you're gonna get one right, and two, if you get all of them right, you're just like on every stream now.
Yeah, dude. I'm putting the
This method
sports set in
was-
right after this.
That was
Yeah,
such
it's
an
really-
old man moment. Method was really like, let me look into the camera.
Somewhere,
I wanted to say
somewhere.
something special, but you didn't scroll up to the fucking essential.
I'm sorry. Amazing. Okay. Dingoes won the first game out in 19th. Tugboats, Method reckons you've got it. I think you can do it too, but if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on the Kelpies. And they are moving on to our next game, vying for 17th, 16th. And to move on, we have Kelpies, Crows, and Aces. So let me get the Crows and Aces. Let me get them all together. Did I get rid of the wrong? I did. Amazing.
Smooth.
Cool. So the two new people entering the stage, we have Crows, another Canberra team, Nickel, Angel, Deimos. Why has he got an asterisk? Deimos played Albury, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
A bit silly.
I know the name.
Lockie, Llama Bat making a comeback, which is really cool. That guy, and I don't know why he's red. Is there a Canberra person that can tell us why Llama Bat is red, please?
He hasn't paid
and then,
the or something. Right?
I was going to say, I think it's just when you ripped it off the thing. He still hasn't paid. We're calling him out.
Arbel said that Fielder is playing for 2 teams.
Yeah, though he was on the Dingoes list too. Oh, sweet.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's a busy player.
Crazy.
And then from Adelaide, we have Aces which is an amalgamation of Aegis and Aces from last year. We have Wardy, Wolfie, Pendragon, Exile, Varn, and the Panicking, aka the Horn, is what we call him in Adelaide. I guess I'll go first and get my Adelaide bias out the way. This game, honestly, I think when I did my own predictions, I had Kelpies beating the Crows. So I will probably stick to my guns with that. So Crows losing this game. However, Llama Bat historically has been like a super solid player. So if he can come back and he's like in form and he's doing quite well, I could see that being a big swing factor for them. Also depending on what this red means for him. But I back the Aces to win this game handily because so just the trainings in Adelaide, obviously there's only 2 Adelaide teams, but every week I'm keeping I've moved to the Gold Coast now, but I'm keeping in touch with how the trainings have been going, and the Aces guys, they're training like minimum once a week. I think Adelaide in general has been training twice a week for a little bit, and they're there, like most of them are there every week. We have H Pro, they got the timing. And I actually had the privilege, I got to go back to Adelaide 1 or 2 weekends ago, and I did 2 training sessions. All of their timing was like really crisp, which was cool to see. They had like really like intense energy. They were playing really hard. I think this is definitely a better Aces than what we had last year, because that Aces didn't really train at all. There was a couple players that were there every week, but they didn't train as a team. These guys have been training as a team every single week, and they're playing against Aftershock, who, again, from me going back and being able to play with the Aftershock boys, they're all like firing on all cylinders, playing really hard. So, yeah, I definitely have my order as Aces, Kelpies, Crows. I wouldn't be surprised if Crows pull it together and they come out on top of Kelpies, but that is my pitch. Someone else may go.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I actually think Crows could lose this one too. Kind of agree with what you're saying there. I think they're a weird team. They do a lot of weird things and they make a lot of weird decisions, and it can go one of 2 ways. I think if the other teams play well, structured, and make good decisions at the right time, when the weird stuff happens, they'll generally win the game. So I think that's kind of what Aces needs to look for. Four Eyes will generally make the right decision, so I'm not too worried about Kelpies, but I can see them mostly taking it over. It's going to be a tough arena to do weird stuff early on. So I think that might play into Aces' hands, where I think they kind of got away with it a bit more in Albury. Especially on H2, I think it's a bit easier when you choose someone in the phaser. So I have Crows coming last in this one as well. Aces, like Wolfie obviously carries these games pretty hard in the past. So he's great. All the other players, they're pretty solid players. Exile's really good. Wardy's good. Dragon, Barn, Panicking 4. So I'm pretty happy to say they lead.
And just for a bit of extra insight, as far as I'm aware, Exile is going to be the in-game leader. He, after his surgeries and time off and stuff, he's been playing quite well, and keeping a good head on his shoulders. And then like especially at this level, like he's got the option to either go out with Wardy first or Wolfie first, who are both like historically in these games, they're like raid bosses in terms of like the stats they're getting and getting bases. Yeah. So that's almost, I feel like for me, it's almost a guaranteed 4 to 6 bases for this team every single game. And then, I mean, Varn is like he's not nearly as putting as high pace as he used to before he took some time off, but like he can still definitely get into a base and take it. And Pendragon as well, I think, is another player that when I went back to Adelaide, their timing was like one of the best. I think it was really sharp. So I think Pendragon's definitely improved a lot since last tournament. And the Panic King, he's just an absolute stud. So I've cut back in again to just glaze the Adelaide boys naturally.
You gotta glaze your boys when you got the chance.
Yeah, I'm always
I need the intel. I really haven't heard about Aces or the Adelaide scene in a while, so it's good. But I think I'm similar. Like I have Aces to win this one. I sort of trust that they have like a 6 base potential out of like Wolfie, Wardy, and Exile, and maybe even the one and only Panic King. Dude, but I think I split with you guys. I think Crows have it over Kelpies in the 2nd and 3rd. Just because Crows always seem to have like weird upsets really early on in the comp, and then by the end of the comp, their mental seems to be right going into their first game. I think it's so crucial on Ascension's Day, having the correct mental before your first game, and also after your first loss. But I think Crows have a really good mental first game, and if this is their first game, I think they will take it over Kelpies in a chaotic game. I think.
Sure.
That's where my head's at.
They'll make it.
Nah, I agree with you, Holmes, and I agree with Method. I think Crows will probably lose this to the other 2 teams. Kelpies I think they'll do pretty well, but I can't really see them beating Aces on the final day. I think Aces will just be able to have that just a little bit extra firepower against probably 4 Eyes, Bembo, and maybe Boots. Cannot see them going any further.
I'm in Crows' corner then.
All right, someone clip it. Sam said that Crows have got this one.
Crows, find your win this game. There we go.
You got to get really close to the camera and look at the wrong spot.
Sorry. Crows, focus up, yeah?
Yeah, Adair and Finn calling us out that we're making the wrong call because apparently Crows have been playing super well against the Dragons recently. Obviously, they have HP and stuff as well, but
True.
Yeah, again,
it's wrong.
It's wrong? If you don't like, exactly. If anyone doesn't like where they've been predicted, it's just an opportunity for you guys to prove us wrong and rub it in our face. So, and I encourage you to do so. But we have Aces moving on. We have Kelpies just beating out on the Crows potentially. So they're settling in 16th and 17th, respectively. And we're moving on to our next game, which is going to be interesting to talk about because we've had someone's been thrown into the mix over this way. But I'll go grab those teams. So we have Outlaws and Calamity. Boom. Oh, jeez. Panicking with them now. So
he plays where he wants to play for.
Something to add.
It is the start.
Whippet is now on this Outlaws team. Is she replacing someone, or is she just like an addition to it?
No, I believe she is a 6th. Yeah, as my understanding.
Yeah, sick, amazing. Well, Zam, I might get you to start us off then. Calamity, we've got so the first of our full Queensland teams. We have Rod, Kit, Hendo, Rat, Innie, Blitz, Chipley. Kelpies we know, and then Outlaws we have Pat King, Cabster, Sicarius, Skyros, Brownie, and one and only Whippet. Get us started, Sam.
Well, it's already pretty impressive, I think, Calamity having a team of 5 rookies to be talked about in the 15-14 spot first, at least in this stream. I guess we'll see differently. But that goes to show how insane some of these players can be, like these new Queensland rookies and such. But that's my little moment on them. We've heard a lot about the Kelpies. They've done really, really well to get this far. I'm not sure they're going to get higher than here, personally. I've already had them placed for me because Crows beat them higher. So I am putting Kelpies to lose this one. I'm not sure they have the firepower to get through bases early game on these teams, or like on their defenses. And I think both of these teams are going to be very capable of handling if they do just a little dump somewhere else in the game. That puts it between Calamity and Outlaws, which is really hard. I think with the Whippet pickup, Outlaws have like a really, really strong contention to try and get there. But Calamity do have experienced players like Blitz and Ghibli to try and like both hold mental and then also like keep the rest of their players around them calm, right? So if Ghibli might be on the door, I could keep the last line pretty chill. I'm not even sure who their last line actually is. Do we know that?
Innie.
Rat? Is it Innie?
Nah, Rat's GC.
Oh, Rat's GC. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's okay.
Oh no, nah, the guy's a stud.
No, his GC like pretty S3 or something, and he did good, I think. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure. I do think Calamity's attack falters a little bit to Outlaws. So unless Outlaws are very far behind early, I think Outlaws should be confident. To win.
Yeah, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be Kelpies. Sorry.
What the hell? How did no one mention this? How did none of us see that?
We all missed it.
Wait, who's it to be?
It's Aces.
Aces.
Changes a lot too.
Wait, that makes one more sense.
God.
Hold on.
Sam, run it from the top, brother.
So as I was saying about the Aces being in this game, they might get an edge over Calamity. Is now where my head's at. I thought Calamity was getting second and Outlaws were getting first, but now it's hard to see because I now think Aces do have a stronger attack as well in this game to get early bases against Outlaws and Calamity. And I'm not sure if Calamity have the same. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the bases as easily as the rest, to be honest. So now I have Outlaws to win with Aces second and Calamity to lose out in this match. But I can imagine earlier in the comp, Calamity taking games off both of these teams, like probably repeatedly. Really.
Pug. We got a full Queensland team here, so give us the sauce, bro.
I think they can't lose this one. I might be simping over the Queensland teams a little, but I think we had a training game where we put Hendo on a door and he stopped Taipan and he stopped Leg basically by himself, which was, I thought, kind of impressive.
Weapon.
Rod and Rat. What was that? What was that? Not Wolf. Oh, yeah. True. Wolfie could as well. True. Just put him on that front of blue. He goes like a demon. But yeah, I don't know. I think Rat and Rod are a pretty good duo to have out at the start.
For sure.
I'd
be surprised that they don't. Yeah, they don't both get both of their bases every game, right?
Yeah. I think it'd be near like glazing again, near impossible. Like they've been doing really super well.
Bro, you gotta wipe the glaze off of your webcam, bro.
True. It's currently everywhere. It's everywhere.
Oh, no.
I think Innie inside of base does pretty well as long as she's not slow. Innie, I'm calling you out. But nah, she's been picking it up pretty well. So I don't think this team can lose to the other two. I do think Outlaws gaining Whippet pushes them above Aces. But that could swing the either way. I could see Aces also beating Outlaws on the final day as well.
Yep, Method, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the Calamity glazing from Pug.
It's so thick. It's on heavy.
How did they go at pre-nats again? Was this they didn't have blitz, did they?
They had one great upset, I think, right? Pre-nats 2, maybe.
No. Did they?
Well, they got like almost like 11th or something, didn't they?
I don't think they played together for pre-2.
I think it was just 3.
No, yeah, definitely not all of them. But I'm like just some of the players.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm talking about pre-nats 3, actually. You might be right.
Big one up. Yeah, well, I'll do that.
One up. Oh. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so like they've got some good solid players, but I think Kit's rather new, right?
She's been playing for a bit. She sort of hasn't really started to show talent until now. I think she's sort of gotten better.
She played 2 and 3, and she was noticeably better in 3.
Yeah.
From when I watched.
Yeah.
It was good to see. And yeah, I know they've got some very strong players, and Blitz and Ghibli.
For sure.
I can definitely see them losing this game. They do have that home advantage where like Aces haven't played the arena, so that might be a
Yes,
factor.
for sure.
I was pretty worried about the Outlaws and who would be last lining until Whippet's on the team. I think that's actually a big boost for them.
And I think last line, like having a really solid last line, is so important in this arena as well. I think that's gonna be really great insurance policy for the Outlaws team. But I'll say a little bit of my bit as well now. So I think there's been so much. Obviously, we all know about all the dumps that are happening. Lots of like really aggressive things happening. Outlaws historically have been a team that, like, if you saw them 4 or 5 man D into a third place, you wouldn't be surprised. I think if they aren't adjusting to like the big moves that are happening in the game, I could see them, even if they start off with a really, really solid pack point lead, that the game just like runs away from them because they're not getting like joining in and, you know, making a decision themselves, or being proactive about making a decision. So I wouldn't be surprised if that bites them in the ass. I think Whippet joining the team is a massive boon for them. Again, last lines, like really strong last lines in this arena, are so important. Calamity, some things I'll point out, like Rod is here, sitting here with like an asterisk, but he's actually been playing. Like, Pug, do you know how long this guy's been playing for? Has he been playing? Has he been playing longer than you?
He played Rumble. Yeah, he has. He just stopped for a bit, I think.
Yeah, so this
sorry,
guy's
it's too
been
cool for
He
nationals.
got fourth. He got fourth in Rumble.
It
Or
was
something.
for Rumble. Crazy.
Well, apparently, yeah, he's been playing for a while. And from what I've seen, the guy is an absolute stud. So I think this is the most like non-asterisk new player that I've ever seen. Personally.
Give him an asterisk for his asterisk.
Yeah, we'll give him 2.
Damn.
So I think definitely take that with a grain of salt.
Did
Yeah,
Calamity beat Outlaws in the printout? Sorry.
I
think
read
so.
almost. I read almost, but not sure if they finished on top.
I could be wrong. I thought they did.
Maybe, yeah.
I think
if
if they
anyone
did,
knows,
they
let us know.
Because
Yeah, you go.
they
Sorry.
They didn't have Blitz. And if they beat Outlaws without Blitz, then
Yeah.
you know, even with Whippet, I think with Blitz they'll probably win.
True, maybe. I do like
Yeah.
about my Outlaws. I'm worried about the Calamity's mental, to be honest. I'm not sure because I don't know most of the players, but I think they might. If this is their first game, maybe they'll do really, really well. But I'm worried about their expectations going into Ascensions, and if it will be different to how they play the rest of the comp. Because I think they'll probably handedly deal with most of these teams the rest of the comp. But if they meet them at Ascensions Day, they'll be walking in sort of like question marking, like, how are we in this game? And then I don't know. Might get surprised, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting Outlaws above, just because they're confident and they know the teams around them.
Outlaws and Calamity got knocked out in the same game at Pre-Nuts 3, supposedly. So
They've done it before, have they?
They lost to Outlaws by 3k in their knockout game, but Calamity didn't have Blitz, I think, and then Outlaws didn't have Whippet. So
True.
yeah, I guess I'll say a little bit more. Personally, I think if Calamity is firing on all cylinders, I actually see them beating the Outlaws for the reasons I said before, about the Outlaws just like playing, like just being too content with playing the game out and not adjusting to what's happening. And getting bases is so important in this arena. And in terms of Calamity versus the Aces, I get it's really hard to say because we haven't seen, like, Aces didn't, like, none of the Acer players have come to any of the pre-nuts. Obviously, Arthashock's been to 2 of them, and so a lot of the training that they're doing at home is, like, done with Sunny Coast in mind and trying to do things that are, like, as relevant as possible. But still, like, the fact that the Aces haven't come to this arena yet is, like, puts an enormous question mark, and I think it makes it really hard to be able to say, for me, even with my Adelaide bias, to be able to say confidently that they would win this game. But I also think that the Outlaws' way of, like, defending really well and, like, relatively heavily, also I could see the Aces struggling going up against that. But I also see if shit starts to happen in the game, the Aces will, like, they'll make a decision and, like, things will happen. So for me, honestly, I would probably agree with Pug that I think Calamity takes this game. And then who's second and third is really hard to say. I'm going to put Aces in second, Outlaws in third, purely for the thing. historically, Outlaws defend way too hard for way too long, and you just can't do that anymore with all of the stumps and stuff happening.
I do
So
that a lot.
that is my final analysis. Has everyone said a little bit? Has everyone said their piece?
I'm not sure about the
This is a
deployment
tough one.
ones. Yeah, it seems to be very contentious. This one.
Yeah.
I'm leaning
Oh,
towards
no.
Calamity now.
What? Come on.
Yeah.
Back me, come on.
You got more young people.
on.
The young ones are the ones who pop off.
Why you gotta keep doing this old person thing where you keep talking
I'm
about people's
old.
age? What?
But if we get Albury Camster, it's over for them.
True. That was
We
like a
get
year
Albury
ago.
Camster.
Unless you mean like 2017. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
No,
enough
I'm talking about
Calamity
last year.
players.
He was a god.
Yeah, perfect, exactly. I don't know about enough about Calamity players. Maybe they are just like that insane that they get their bases. I think Outlaws can play a slow game really, really well. It's just if they react to the dunk correctly, which they rarely do. They have Sicarius as well on Outlaws, which is a motivated New South Wales player. Of course, that's played at Aubrey on the Order, so it'll be nice to see him again. I haven't seen him much around, but I'll be keen to see him in the Amaze. But I'm still backing Outlaws to win. I'm Calamity over Aces, I think. I'll give you that. But if I'm out of majority, then of course, Calamity win.
Yeah, Method Pug, you still solid with Calamity winning this game?
After I heard
Yeah,
about what
I
happened
think
at Prenats 3, I gotta.
All right, so we have Calamities moving on. And then I guess the last bit left is Aces or Outlaws for 14th and 15th. So what did we all settle on if that's the case? Because I had Aces coming
Outlaws,
second in this game, but
I have Outlaws.
yeah, I think I'm gonna say.
Outlaws.
I think Outlaws will. I think I'm gonna change to Outlaws. Yeah.
Yeah, Whippets also
Aces.
might be doing that.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Sorry, Adelaide boys. Did me best. Amazing. That elimination game, we have Aces dropping out in 15th, Outlaws in 14th, and Calamity moving on. If you don't like it, prove us wrong.
Send us an email.
Send us an email at
Don't do that.
I don't have like
Spam
a
at lsa.com.
Whoa.
spam at LSA. That's the one.
Don't
No
do
reply
that,
at-
guys. Don't, please.
Amazing. Inferno, Earthsparkers, Calamity. Let me get these teams. All right, here we go.
Sparkers Calamity, I see.
Earthsparkers. What does that mean, Earthsparker?
You spark the earth.
Yeah. That blew my mind.
Their logo looks very similar to the Aftershock logo, and I was like, are they taking the piss out of us or something?
Oh, don't shade. I'm so
Don't
keen to see
shade.
that jersey. What even other like the colors?
Well, you'd go with like under zap or something. Though. That is-
Under
Under
Zap.
Zap?
Yeah, true. Under Zap.
Oh,
Buff-
because Aftershock.
Sure.
I see.
Amazing. In this game, vying for 13th, 12th, and moving on. Calamity, well done.
Oh,
they're here.
Transformers, isn't it? The Earth Spark? Allspark?
Oh, Earth.
that what it is?
That's like that's the Allspark.
Okay, I don't know. That
That's
was what
the
Finn said.
Allspark, bro. Finn full of shit, bro.
That's
Maybe
some nerd stuff, bro. I don't know about it.
That's some nerd shit. Inferno is another all Queensland team. Noot, Pandas, M's, Dirtbag, Shaz, Western. And then Earthsparkers is our one and only Hobart team this year. Sega, Rizzler, Celery, Jellyhawk, and Captain Morgan. He's back. Pug, we have 2 Queensland teams, so maybe you can get us started, and I'm going to grab another beer. But I have my headset on, so I can hear you.
Righto. Okay.
Thirsty.
I am pretty keen to see how Jelly Rizzler will do on a H Pro pack because they didn't play any of the pre-nats, right? Or did Rizzler play one?
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure. Have they not touched pro at all? Is that?
I
What do you
don't think
I don't
Jelly
think they've
has
played a pro
touched
comp.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
at all.
okay.
So it could be kind of interesting. Captain Morgan, I'm assuming, would have. Celery, he has come to a pre-nats. And
Captain Morgan's an OG, bro.
True.
That's true. He
Um,
built that,
OG.
I'm pretty sure.
So, like, with how Rizzler or Jelly could pick it, like, if they pick it up fast, I can see them sort of going sort of similar to these 2 teams. But if they just can't pick it up, then I don't think they can do too well. I think it could be close to with Inferno and Calamity again, but Inferno's just gonna win. I don't think, like, come finals day they might depends on their mentals, because I think Newt and Pandas can get pretty heated at each other, being brothers.
They're brothers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But if they're calm and collective, they should take the win on that one. But yeah, I think if Rizzler and Jelly pick it up, they could do pretty well, and they could probably fight for like a second out of these teams.
Amazing. Method or Pug? Or Method or Pug?
Pug
Method or
again.
Zam?
Pug, when you're ready.
When you're ready, Pug.
Yeah, considering considering. Hey. Okay.
Wait.
Cool. Considering no Vikings. If anyone even thought that once, this is like a really strong Hobart team that they put together out of players out of a state that was like very unsure of who was actually going to be able to attend. Right, but they had a very, very busy time, I think, coming into this Nats where a lot of players were missing. But they've done this is a lot of very individually strong players on Earthsparkers, I think.
Yeah.
But to be saying that, I've also heard lots from Inferno. They've got like way too many accolades for a team of this many rookies as well, with a pre-Nats 1 finish, I think. Finals trophy, right? For Newton Pandas at least. And then Chapman Weston gets something at Clash as well, maybe.
As well. Yeah.
And Ems has the experiences ready of just like playing at least 2 Nats maybe already, has she? Was she at 2? Aubrey and Hobart?
Yeah, I think Hobart and Aubrey, yeah.
So they like a oddly intimidating team, considering they have like another 5 asterisks. So I imagine they'll do really, really well. I think that attack from Newton and Pandas will be very, very strong in a maze that they know very, very well. So I'm going to give it to Inferno. I'm not sure if Calamity have it over Earthsparkers. I can't see it, but that's only because of the previous chat we just had. I wasn't sure of the Calamity players, but you guys were very on their side. I think Earthsparkers could play a better dump game than Calamity. So in this last game, I'd probably give Earthsparkers over Calamity, because they'll be more prepped and they have more experience, and they'll be more not worried, not panicking, you know. So I would probably have Inferno to win, and then Earthsparkers, and then Calamity. But maybe that's dramatic.
Dramatic even.
Dramatic.
Method, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I think Inferno will take this. New Pandas have shown they're really good players. From what I've seen, they've definitely stand out. Shaz and Weston, I watched them play at Clash. They're really good upcoming players. You can just tell with some new players, like, if they're kind of doing the right things and where they're at. And a lot of the Queensland rookies, they're doing the right things. I guess the ones going to Nats probably are anyway. So they're really solid and reliable. So like, they're a good, solid team. You know, Ems is really good, Dirtbag's really good. They can play a really good job, and they got a bit of firepower with like Newt Pandas on their team. So I think they're a really strong team. I'm a bit worried with Earthsparkers playing on H-Pro. They just struggle every time they've played on H-Pro I've watched. And then they're like so much better on H2, which must be so frustrating for them. But I expect them to actually be like climbing to get to this position like they've done at other comps where they're kind of similar Archangel's team. This might be the end of their climb even when they come up against, Inferno. I think that's probably where they might cap out. So I've got them over Calamity. But yeah, I've got Inferno too.
Yep. I'll say a bit of my piece. I think we're all in agreement. I think Inferno probably win this game. Earthsparkers, again, big question mark is how are they going to do on H Pro? We saw Sega Rizzler, at least, and I think Celery as well. The 3 of those were at pre-Nats 2, if I'm not mistaken, and I mean they did reasonably well. Jellyhawk, I don't know if he's ever even touched a H Pro back before, and then Captain Morgan, like, he's got a lot of experience, and he can do some funky stuff, but I don't think he's adding like an enormous amount of firepower to that team. So yeah, I guess the big question for me will be how well can this Hobart team do on H Pro packs after being on H2 for quite a while now. Calamity, like, yeah, I could. If they're firing at all cylinders and Earthsparkers aren't able to like adjust to the arena in H Pro, I can see Calamity being Earthsparkers. But I think I'm in agreement with you guys that I see it being Inferno, Earthsparkers, and Calamity. If I were a betting man, Pug, did you give a final order?
Yeah, I said Inferno will probably win, and I think Earthsparkers could take a second. I'll say they will because I think that's what we're in agreement with. Which I'm happy with. I think they could probably pull it through.
Yep, amazing. Yeah, I didn't really talk about Inferno a lot because you guys already did, but yeah, again, it's like there's a lot of asterisks here, but they're like the most. They're up there with the least asterisk-y asterisks. There are.
Send them for 3 pre-nats, right?
They're all 3 pre-nats.
There's a lot of data.
Couple late WA clashes. Like I think. Maybe did Shaz go to like one of the Canberra comps as well?
Yeah, like Grub has and Firebird.
Yeah, they're playing
someone
else.
And like Newton Pandas, if they're like I've seen them like crash out each other before, like you said, Pug. But if they're not, they're very strong together. Dirtbag is like if he's like the next out, he's like super solid player as well. Yeah, I think realistically, I expect Inferno to win that game. So we're happy with that. Inferno, Earthsparkers, Calamity.
That's where my head's at.
Amazing. Alrighty. Inferno moving on. Earthsparkers 12th. Calamity 13th. Amazing. If you don't like it, prove us wrong. I'll keep saying it. In our next game, we have Rustic Surge Inferno. So let me get
Queensland teams.
Yeah, we got more Queensland going on here.
Oh, less asterisks though, so probably not as good.
True. More the better. More the merrier.
More the merrier. Alrighty, so we have another WA team. Gaza, Commander Snake, Brodizzle, Sawdust, Diggy, and Noobs 316. And then another Queensland team, we have Rustic with Stingray, Raven, Master Mopar, Orcarai, Insomniac, and Robo. Method, do you want to go first and talk to us about Surge and maybe how you expect them to do against these 2 Queensland teams?
Yeah, I'll start. Big Surge. Yeah, Sawdust should have an asterisk. Barely played last Nats.
All right.
Really, it's the first.
Chuck one on.
You know, so get it on there. More asterisks the better.
True.
Well represented. I think Surge is a really good team. Since PK has opened, we've been training like crazy, and Surge are definitely close. There's like a real level up on skill on especially like Commander Snake and Brodizzle. So they've really developed into like very strong players. And I know that their kind of plan is that it'll be like run by Commander Snake. I'm assuming with like Brodizzle at the start with Gaza last lining.
The Hus lining even.
Yeah, with the idea that
Gaza
whoever
last
finishes first is going to swap with Gaz and take the last line role. So that's kind of their like general plan.
Including if Commander Snake, the in-game leader, if he gets both, he's swapping.
Yeah, they like to do it a bit more.
Yeah, right.
That kind of way. So yeah, but I don't know if they're going to do that for sure. But that's just generally how they play.
I'm here for it. You don't have the captain from First Attack.
You know, so that's their general plan. So they're going to have, you know, last line Gaz and just keep that strength in that last line position as like a thing, and then having their first 2 out. Diggy's probably going to be actually pretty good on H Pro. He's played a lot of H Pro at our like H Pro site there, and he's been there playing there for like years ago when we used to do it. He used to come and train a bit. And he's actually pretty solid on the packs. He's got pretty good timing. He's a good door defender. Got a big body he can use to dodge and stuff. So he's quite solid. Yeah, Sawdust has been pretty good on the timing. Will be call it 4Dust playing those doors as well. So I think they'll be fun.
4Dust, sure.
Yeah, 4Dust. Yeah, you get it.
Oh, just beer everywhere.
No.
He's a mess.
Sorry.
Not the
I'm a hot XPA mess.
But my biggest question marks on Noobs for this team. he's a beast at home. He's like really, really good. But last time he played on H Pro, he was a shell of himself. And he hasn't had a lot more H Pro experience.
Was that a while ago? How recent was that?
Darwin. He played Darwin.
Darwin? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
I'm really, if he can play as well as he can play at home, or a good fraction of it, the team will be a lot stronger. He played Hobart as well. Yeah, I think he does. I wasn't there, so it didn't count. It's not a real Nats. I have Nats permanence.
I agree.
It doesn't exist if I
I
wasn't
had
there.
to try and remember.
Amazing.
So I think that's kind of their gist. I think they'll do really well. And will probably surprise a lot of teams, get a lot of upsets, but will struggle on that consistency, which will drop them off a bit at the end. Otherwise, I guess Rustic. I'll talk about them for a bit. They're a pretty solid team. They had a very bad pre-Nats 3, which probably puts a big asterisk on their placement. But they did have Stingray, so everyone's like, oh, it's a big in, but he's like nearly as old as me or something. So, this is the maybe the oldest average age team.
Absolute Debacle has to be the oldest, no?
Oh, don't they have like a 15-year-old kid though? So, but they do have Insomniac. So
They got Gizmo, Master Guardian, Ness.
yeah, true.
That'll do it. And Celtic as well. He's
Maybe they have the most
he's an
people in
old-timer.
Masters. Maybe they have the
For
most
sure.
people.
For sure. Old timers.
So yeah, but they're a solid team. But I don't know, they can kind of blow out. So I can actually see them dropping to Inferno in this kind of like full long comp grind, which they're so experienced in. But it doesn't get easier as you get older. And they also have so much kind of responsibilities and volunteering and stuff. That's exhausting. So I'll be interested to see how they go. But they do. Like every pre-nats I've watched, Raven is popping off in the games. Like this, every time I look at the scoreboard, she's got these crazy PRs and stuff. So I can see them doing well. Mopar will be running the show. He's actually, I really rate him as a captain. He just kind of like grabs people and it pushes them through, and
True.
doesn't actually give a shit about himself, which I actually really rate in a GC. He just gets the job done. I think a big asterisk for me is Orkarai, because when I played with him at like that pre-nats before Worlds, he was an absolute god, and I just have not seen that that kind of pre-nats. So if he can really pop off like I've seen him do before, I think that'll really power this team up. And yeah, it's the same with like Insomniac. I feel like he hasn't performed super well in the last pre-nats as well. So I think my eyes are probably on those two, as like, I guess, the young guys to really step it up to get this team across. But I'm going to say Surge clears.
Amazing. I might say a piece now as well. So I actually have it Inferno, Surge, Rustic. And my reasoning is Rustic, we've seen it, like you kind of mentioned the age before, average age of the team before Method. We've seen the last two pre-nats. I swear they're like, these guys need like walking frames. They need help getting up the stairs, and that's over like a 2-day tournament. Now imagine like a nationals 10-day tournament. Like you mentioned, all of the volunteering responsibilities. I actually think that that's going to have an enormous effect on the Rustic. I think definitely worth mentioning. They were very much missing out on Stingray being with them at pre-nats 3. I think he brings a lot to the team in a lot of ways. But for me, just seeing the state of some of the players after 2 days, I'm like, what are they going to look like on day 10? I can't see them keeping up. There's only so much that Sports Tape and Neurophen's going to do. You know what I mean? Surge, I think it's like a solid WA team. Like you said, Commander Snake, Bro Dizzle, they've really been coming into their own. Gaza has always been like a super solid player. But I'm gonna back. I now have Adelaide and Queensland bias. This is crazy. But I think the Inferno guys, most of them are training almost every week. They're all studs. The only asterisk for me would be whether they like keep their heads, you know, just being a younger team, they can like get on each other's nerves or whatever. But I'm backing Inferno to win this game. I can see I would expect Rustic should win this game, but I'm not expecting them to be firing on all cylinders because they're bloody limping around the arena and they can't like crouch down or whatever without assistance. So that's my expectation of this elimination game. Pug, maybe you can give some more Queensland insight as well, bro.
I kind of want to go back on my statement again. If Newton Pandas don't get heated, then I think they'll probably take these two teams as well. I think in training against Rustic, it's been pretty 50-50. I think last training, Rustic had hands, so they didn't really win. They didn't win one, I don't think. But I think it's been pretty on and off with who's been in first and who's been in second and stuff like that. So I think I want to put Inferno to win this, but I also want to put Surge to beat Rustic. Because I agree with Cyrex in chat, who said like Rustic will be dead by the end of the comp. I think at the start, they'll do extremely well.
100%.
I think they'll probably beat Inferno more than they lose to him. But then at the end of the day, I think, the end of the comp, I think Rustic.
This is the elimination game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a bit. So my standing on it is Inferno first, followed by Surge. And I think playing with Gaza in pre-3 sort of solidifies it. Because him in last line, like, I think Brody was telling me not to put him there. But he went crazy. And especially in blue, we had a Storm game where Shock and Moss were losing it. Because he was just moving spots every now and then. Which it was just great to come out, and we ended up winning. And I'm gonna say because of him, because his last line is actually. So yeah, I think Inferno will take this come elimination, followed by Surge.
I think Inferno win this for most of the comp. Drop off the Surge. Surge gonna get that power up. Inferno, they played the arena so much. What more can they get?
Yeah, I really think like if we were having this discussion the day before Ascensions starts, this would be so clear. I think we could like 1, 2, 3 this so easily. But right now, like all of these teams are really, really tough. In my head, I've got as long as Inferno's happy and like cheering and having a good time, maybe they came off a win or this is their first game and they're already like walking in happy. They do take it. If Rustic isn't limping, as everyone is saying they might be limping, then they have a decent chance at first or second. If they are limping, it might just be a straight up third. I think that they will have the best, not nervous to be here in this game. Whereas Surge is the opposite. I think they've got 4-ish players who would be nervous on Ascensions Day, and if they keep their cool, then they get second or first. If they don't, they get dead last. I think. Surge, I mean. But saying all of that at this stage, I'd probably put Inferno to win. Weirdly enough. And then Rustic over Surge because of Surge's nerves, and Rustic, if they can keep cool and they have the experience to handle on Ascensions Day.
Amazing. I think that's majority method. So turn to the webcam. It's up here, mate. Let them know.
Yeah, up there somewhere.
Let them know what your prediction is, mate. So
Surge clears 10k.
Woo!
10k. There we go. Amazing.
True is terrible.
10k also not that much, to be honest. Like,
I mean, it's a decent.
They cleared like 3k.
Look,
10K.
it increases the odds.
It's more than that. It's more than that. 10k back. Damn,
Amazing.
that's a statement.
So Inferno had quite the climb, but I think this is probably the point where I see them maxing out. So next we have Sharks and the Dragons. So let me get those guys on the screen. Amazing. So we have the Sharks. Method. That's you, Method. Plank, Stinky, Arbel, and you had a last-minute replacement. Was it Red Devil injured himself? Yep. So you have Drake now. And then on the Dragons, we have the usual suspects: Gustus, Shifter, VG Master, Azoran, Dragon, and Garn. this is an inside joke for Garn and I. I'll just leave that there. If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. Amazing. Sharks. Well, Method, you're in the mix now, so I'll get you to start, bro. Tell us why you're winning this game.
To be honest, I think we should clear this game pretty easily.
Back yourself.
I honestly can't see us losing this game more than 2 out of 10 times. Just pure experience and like just power. Swank's a monster, and you didn't realize in Pre-Nats 3, he is a monster, and I think he's going to unleash some feelings to people. So I'm really excited to play with him. It's the first time we've had a left-hander on the Shark, so that's pretty exciting.
Yep.
But he's going to be like our kind of star player, I think. Put him in the position to score heavy. I think, you know, the plan will basically be Arbel and Drake defending together, and Stinky's going to be our middleman. I think he's got probably the hardest job, i.e. shoes to fill. Obviously we had Cans last time, and he got to take a step back and just play on a door. Put Cans in that role, but that's what he plays at home a lot. He's really good at it at home. So I think if he figures that out, we're going to be a very, very strong team. It'd be quite frustrating to play against. So really looking forward to that. You know, I trust myself to pretty much always make at least a decision at the time that decision needs to be made. So
at least one, that'd be good.
At least one. I think it'll be the right decision, but they're not always. But sometimes it's just making a decision you made. So I think, you know, I back us. Dragons, honestly, it's just Augustus and VG Master Show. I think just fall off a cliff after that. And I can't see them like that. I could see them losing to Inferno. I could see them losing to teams below us. But then I could see them taking games off anyone on this call out of nowhere. But I think they're not going to be able to clutch it towards the end of the comp when all the teams are settled, the games are more on the line, people are fully locked in. I think the Dragons are just going to struggle quite hard. Yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, and I think just to add to that, I think Dragons. So the only pre-nats they went to as a full team was pre-nats 3, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if someone has their final placement, but from memory, it wasn't super great. And I just remember watching them like as a ref. Granted, it was like, you know, it was only like middle of the tournament, the first time at this new Sunny Coast Arena, but it looked like they were struggling quite a lot to kind of get the groove. They are
8th. Pre-Nats 3, it seems.
8th.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't talk because they got 2 positions above Aftershock, but
they just beat Fire Nation, isn't that? Wait, hold on, isn't that the team?
It has Rat on it, I think, right? Rat for
It has Commander Snake on it. Dirtbag was there.
Oh,
yeah.
Rat was pretty
Commander Snake and Benbow.
Lazy Town.
Yeah, Commander Snake and Benbow were on Fire Nation that time.
Yeah, they didn't have Noodle Pandas.
True.
So, I mean, yeah, pre-nats, like initially it looked like they were struggling a lot, but I guess on the last day they put it together a little bit better. So if they can kind of keep building on that,
Which they do.
you know, like you said, Method, like they're a team that you'll just see, they'll just take scouts and you're like, have they won this game? And then you'll see them lose and you're like, how have they lost this game? It's absolutely something that can happen. I think for me personally, yeah, the Sharks were really strong at pre-nats. Granted, you had Madcans, but granted, that was his first. He'd done one. So the whole story of that was crazy. So Madcans was injured. He'd like hurt his knee at Worlds, right? And then he took a bunch of months off. Pre-nats 3 rolls around. Sharks need a replacement. Madcans had done one training session on the Thursday before pre-nats. You know, he was just kind of like testing the water, seeing how his knee was, and then he got the invite from you guys. It was just crazy time. So a couple grains of salt there, you know, sprinkle them on. But I think still, you guys, like, you played lots of really hard games, really good games. And I think you guys got a significant amount of insight playing those really hard games. So for me, I expect the Sharks to hands down win this game. And then for me, between Inferno and Dragons, yeah, if Dragons could just keep building on from what they obviously learned from Pre-Nats 3, they can let that experience shine through. Obviously, VG Master and Gus are absolute studs, absolute weapons, and the rest of the team is solid. I think this is probably the end of the Inferno climb. And so we see Sharks in first, Dragons in second, which gets them what? 8th? Dragons in second and 8th, and then Inferno finishing in 9th place is my thoughts. Pug, do you want to go next, bud?
Yep. Yeah, I think Plank is shining right now. I think he's been put in a spot where he can just do his own thing, get the points wherever he sees them, and then get his bases whenever he can. I think that's like the perfect spot for him. He's not making calls in game, is he? That's up to you?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's perfect for him. I think him just like shutting his brand down and going crazy is his perfect role. It's the ideal spot for him. I think Stinky has been playing really well, and Arbor and Drake are always going to be like an okay players to have on your team for like door or last line. They'll be pretty good.
Arbor was so good at last line. Renat?
Like he was doing pretty good at Pre-Nats 3. I thought he was really well.
Pardon me, everyone. Pardon. I forgot I was on stream.
That was good, mate.
There you go. Cop that. What?
I think it could be. Oh, I'm gonna put Dragons in front of Inferno. Sorry. I think Inferno climbed pretty well to get to this spot, but yeah, I think Gus just has that better captaining knowledge than what Noot would have, and I think in trickier situations he can make the right call over what Noot would probably make.
Yeah. I feel like the Inferno guys are relying more on them starting the game well and kind of riding like the momentum of like they're already winning the game. If they're not in a position where they're winning that game, I see them struggling to make the right call, like you said, for sure. Whereas like Dragons and Shark, like if for Inferno, even if they start off really like solid, the Dragons are the Sharks. They're not just going to sit down and take it. They're gonna make a big move, and I don't know if Inferno's going to adjust to it well enough. So yeah.
And I think in the dumping meta, I think Dragons have it over Inferno. Maybe like you can make the argument saying that Inferno will have the maze knowledge, so when they do dump, they know what to do. But I think Dragons will still like outpack them and outskill them. I don't think they should lose come the finals day. So yeah, I'll probably put Sharks, then Dragons, then Inferno, I think.
Zam? You got some more to say? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Wax, you're an idiot. Plank is not the problem. Said that.
Amazing, Zam.
Disavowalment.
Finish us off, mate.
Whoa, okay. I guess I will.
Poor choice of words, but you know what I mean.
If I must. Dragons. Tough to miss players. Miss is the wrong word. Like Finn and Nufa this year.
Yeah.
But they do have a strong lineup with Gustus and BG. They're always good. Well, not always good with their dump timings, but they're like pretty solid with their dump timings. So if they aren't keeping up halfway through the game and then finding a good dump timing, they probably aren't going to win. And I think they're going to be losing to Sharks in this game. I think Sharks are going to be capable at all points in the game in terms of like the early slow game and then also some sort of dump reaction. The only way Inferno get there is by getting really, really good like dump counters against like Dragons. I don't think Sharks will need to do the first dump here, but I do think Inferno are going to drop behind. So I'm pretty much in agreement with everyone else, thinking Sharks will take this and then Dragons and then Inferno. I can't see Inferno climbing much higher than this. These would be two teams that I don't think they'll get a win on them the whole comp, maybe, unless they get something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that.
I think there's a huge
you did say it, Sam. You absolutely said it. The words came out.
Guilty.
I do agree. Like, there's just a huge jump in the skill from the top 7, I think.
I think so, yeah. There's a couple of brackets that we've talked about, and might be one here.
Amazing. Well, we're all in consensus. We have Sharks moving on to the next game. Dragons finishing out in 8th, and Inferno after an honourable climb, finishing out in 9th place.
Hurrah.
Zam, we have Yumi and Method. The thing happened that we were talking about before, where we're just talking about our own teams.
All glazing ourselves, and we can't decide because we all
Whereas-
not allowed to back anyone else.
I'll be there to start.
All right, Pog. Yeah, as the team who isn't in this conversation yet, we should do all of them. All the predictions.
Do all of it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we won't
We'll go to the bathroom.
We'll actually.
Yeah, Pug.
Oh, bro.
Pug, please,
Oh, no.
please get us started on this
stunned.
discussion, mate.
I'm turning them up.
God. I will probably
Be careful not to
start
hurt
with the
anyone's
bottom team
feelings.
then.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, I'll try.
Just remember you
Oh, I
start
got to
now
introduce the
during
teams.
Clash.
We have Rampage with Spider, Zam, Sadlamp, Dark, Cool Beans. Aftershock is Fug and Mikey, myself, Chutch, Beefy, and Jesse. And I think I forgot to introduce teams earlier, and if I did, I'm sorry. Moving on. Pug, keep going.
Sweet. Okay, so I think just to rip the band-aid, I'll just go straight with positionings. I think Rampage will win, followed by Sharks, followed by Aftershock. I'm pretty sure.
You're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. You are. I'm sure you paid for all
thank
those
you,
bottles
thank you.
by yourself. Hey.
Yeah, I think with Prenats too, I know it was meme page, right? So I know it wasn't exactly the same, but that was when I was versing them with my full team. I thought, like, we went into the game to get into the final golden game, and I was scared because they were on green and I was shitting bricks. I think their
Whole ass
green game is
bricks.
amazing. Yep, whole ass
Mm.
bricks. It was crazy.
You're a fan.
I think, yeah, Rampage's green game is amazing. Like, versus the amount of green, I'm gonna start crying. I think they just play as well out of red and blue. And having Sparta for your points is crazy. Zam doesn't drop below a positive TR when he's attacking, so that's crazy.
Trying to attack.
It's not entirely true, but I'll allow it.
Okay.
Like base average is like 1.2 though. It's insane. Out the whole
Yeah,
game,
but you
like,
come
it's
out with
like
140% TR, so it's fine.
What?
that. I'm keen.
140 even.
I'm
Nice.
keen. Yeah, I'm down.
Crazy. Yeah, I just can't see them really going. Like, I can see them getting to, like, even the second, maybe the first golden game, depending on how Cascades go. But I think they have a really good shot. Sharks below them, just because I think, as good as Plank is, I think Spider's really good at controlling a big area, or at least his
I'm trying
own
to say.
little area. Okay, buddy. And I think that sort of limits what Plank can do as much. Like, you can put him on the third team, I guess. But at the end of the day, Spider's sort of going to be stealing the pack off everyone. I think that it sort of pushes them up quite a bit.
Including
I think,
his own team.
including his own team, true. And then I think with Aftershock last, it's just because of how you guys have just been playing lately. I think you guys are like a great team, and if you lock in, you could jump a few spots, get to fourth maybe.
Yeah, that's where we're capped out, bro. That's where we're capped out.
But yeah, just with how 3, 1, 2, and 3 have gone, I think just it's probably the safe bet to say that you guys won't go too much further. But if you're locked in, I can see you jumping.
All right, mate. I don't want to go first. I got to process that, and by process that, I mean I need to urinate.
I'll jump in.
But I have my headphones on, so I can hear you. I'll be back.
What the hell?
You won't be able to hear me. You won't be able to hear me because my mic's. Yeah.
Let's go. We'll run the show.
All right. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. I was gonna say, like,
Wait, so we're all putting Aftershock third, right? Sorry, no, here's his mic. Here's his headset. Go on.
yeah, just to annoy him. I could definitely see Aftershock doing a lot better, but I think their previous performances have put them on third in this game. Just feel on that, but I think we can all agree, like, Aftershock did so well at Worlds. Like, they were a crazy good team. and they are just a crazy good team in general. So there's a team that can just pop off. It's definitely them. They've got such a solid team this year. I think I heard that from Holmes maybe last review or something. He might not be last lining anymore. He might go back to a natural position.
That's my big question.
That needs
when
to
Pissman
happen.
returns, he's got
That
he's got some words to say.
But Rampage, yeah, they're a bit of a monster team in this arena because Rampage like to play it slow, control the arena, and just chill out and just shoot a lot of stuff, and that works really well in the arena, and it's kind of scary. So definitely something that we will be just thinking about and trying to kind of plan for what we're gonna do.
Thinking about us?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I thought you about you too.
Dart's gonna win doubles, which is crazy.
Wait,
Not
what does that
possible, not
slander?
possible, sorry.
Who's he
Not
with?
possible.
Wait a minute, I know who it is. Yeah, it's you, isn't it? It's you, isn't
So
it?
that's crazy. So
No, you're gonna win doubles. He might attend.
so so he's probably going to be popping off in teams because he's actually learned something from someone.
Yeah, facts.
Squad.
Actually, facts.
But Rampage, we're a good team, but obviously they've got dual beans. So memes aside though, Cool Beans did a really good job at last line, but he's definitely like a lot weaker than other last lines I've come up against the team. So I think he'll be kind of grinding out to make sure he can really hold his own in this, and I think that's kind of just a bit of a question mark for me for Rampage. But otherwise, if he can lock in, yeah, Rampage is a scary team for sure. You just have to farm heavy and off. So yeah, that's my two piece. But I'm happy to concede, even though I think we'll game. But we kind of need to prove it. I don't think we can say a prediction. Definitely.
That's fair.
Zam, I'll let you go next, bro.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. These teams are great. I'm always excited. Is that Spider? Hold on. Okay, buddy, pipe down. All right. Yeah, these teams I'm always excited to play against. Like any of these teams, any teams above, like 4 or 5 teams below, even are always like really good, exciting games. We're very used to aftershock games. We're rolling our eyes seeing them in Ascensions because I swear you guys always got the perfect. Like we misstep one step, and you guys have like completely outplayed us, but then you're also like watching us. You're also like outplaying, and then you're like looking back at us like you see this, like you know that we got it. That's how I feel based on you guys on Ascensions Day especially. So you're always super dangerous, and I think Sharks are very, very composed on Ascensions Day as well. Like they've got just they're all experienced players, confident with each other. I don't know, you guys always have that composure down. We obviously drop all the time on Ascensions Day, but per our pre-2 and pre-3, we didn't drop dramatically. So I'm hoping that we can do that again at actual Nats, but we don't just fall over. So yeah, I would put us to win this game naturally. Of course, it is my team.
Naturally.
Assuming Arbitral get their bloody positions in a winning spot. Where are you playing, and where is Jesse playing, Mr. Holmes?
I think we're gonna play around with it a bit. I think we're gonna play.
Oh my goodness.
We are torn. We're torn because I was saying before, I think how important the insurance policy of having a fucking weapon of a last line is. Especially with all the dumps that are happening. If you're a team and all these dumps are happening and no one's got your base yet, especially if it's an earlier dump or a mid-game dump, you're in a pretty damn good spot because there's only so many places left for people to go when no one's got your base. So we're a little bit torn because I did play last line all of pre-nats 3 and I did pretty well. And Jesse did okay in that more of my position, like working with Fuggan a little bit more. But yeah, it's that, but then it's also we lose a bit of obviously the last few years I've been a very very solid like attacking player, so by me not being out there we miss out on that, and then also Fuggan and I being together out, like we can bounce off of each other, and not like co-captain, but I can like suggest a lot of stuff, and I have the experience to suggest those things. So it's kind of that trade-off for us. I think what we're currently settling on is round robin is going to be the big time when we test that, and then after round robin we just have to lock in. We have to choose one. Maybe after Cascade 1 at the latest, because it's just that big toss-up. Like, sure, Jesse is a like traditionally an insane last line, but because I did all the Prenuts 3 last line, and I've been training here, and I've just happened to be in the base most of the time, and I'm still doing quite well in last line. It's like toss up of that versus me being out there. But also, yeah, Sunny Coast, even when I have gone out there, like I can get bases, but my tag ratio and my ability to get fill points just in the middle hasn't been super good. So yeah.
If you do
to be decided.
Yeah, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Jesse. It seems scary, but this could be a weapon that you guys have anyway, right? Against these teams you're going to see. Like, we don't know what you're going to do to start off the game, but I'm not sure. I would then put you guys maybe third to Sharks if you're on there. Personally.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll say my piece.
You all suck. I'm Sharks the best.
You suck. No, like obviously, I'm gonna back us. I'm gonna back us to win this game because of course I am. But I totally understand where all of the doubts are coming from. Like, sure, we're a team that since 2020 we've come 5th, 4th, 4th, 7th, and then at Worlds we came 5th. Like we've been up there the whole time. We're a solid team, but our last 2 Prenuts performances were lackluster. Obviously, yes, Prenuts 2. We've said it in the reviews before. I had genuinely the worst tournament I've ever had in my life. And then Prenuts 3. Fuggan and Chutch in particular didn't have a super solid tournament, and Jesse like did okay. So there's all of these like grains of salt, but like all of you guys don't care. All people remember is like your last few tournaments, and our last few tournaments we haven't done super well. So I can't blame anyone. I can't blame anyone for counting us out. But I was saying before the stream, I know. Like I actually went back to Adelaide for a weekend a week or 2 ago, and I got to train, and everyone is like locked in, firing on all the cylinders, really good intensity, really solid timing and fundamentals and stuff. I know for me, I genuinely feel like I haven't improved much, especially on ZLTAC settings for the last like 3 or 4 years. I don't think I've improved that much. Any improvements I did make was like 2024. I played more 1 shot per second stuns than I did ZLTAC settings. So I got much better on those settings. But now that I've moved to Queensland, I feel like I have actually made like I could actually see like a pretty big difference in how much I've improved, even just like the last like 3-4 months being here, being able to train against like all of these super solid Queensland players every week. This is definitely the strongest Aftershock we've ever seen. If we're all firing on all cylinders, I back us to win this game hands down. But I get what you're all saying, and I can't be upset because we've fucking blunderbust is what we've called it. The last couple tournaments. So
I think
all that being
insane, no matter what.
It's going to be.
This looks like such a fun game.
It's going to be a wild ass game.
I want to play this game 5 times back to back.
Yeah. So, Pug. So.
My brain will hurt.
Method and Zam, you had Aftershock and both had Aftershock in third, didn't you? In fact, all of you had Aftershock in third.
Yeah, with what you just described in terms of like positioning, yeah, I do.
All right, Pug, you get the deciding vote. Rampage or Sharks in first. That's all up to you, bud.
I think I'm gonna stick with Rampage. I think they'll probably be able to carry through. Like they'll probably be able to have their momentum throughout the whole comp, I think. Unless one of them gets sick. But same can be said for Sharks. So yeah, I think Rampage will probably win this.
Alrighty. Well, there we go, everyone. the hotly contested 6th, 7th spot. Aftershock. Oh. In 7th, Sharks after winning their first game in 6th, and then Rampage moving on to a glorious, glorious golden game. I guess this is golden game 3. Pardon
Got
me,
to
everyone.
Maybe we got.
Who have we got? Storm and Riptide. Let me get everyone up. Excuse my burps, everyone. I'm a stinky bitch.
I was gonna say no, but you call yourself a stinky bitch, and now I'm like, well, yeah, that's too funny. They're not.
Why does Storm have Kitsune on?
Huh?
They got 2 teams on their team.
How's that happen?
No.
That's crazy. Anyway, who's missing?
Peregrine?
Yeah, why is it Kitsune? I copy pasted this from the ZLTAC regi. That's crazy. All right, let me fix that. Oh, Peregrine.
Peregrine.
Does he have an E on the end?
I think there's an E at the end.
No way. Peregrine.
Oh, maybe not.
It's not Peregrine.
Look,
Maybe it
Peregrine
is.
is Kitsune on the rego form.
That's crazy.
He's too old. You're not allowed to rebrand. Sorry. Denied.
Amazing. Cool. Storm. We have Cyrex, Moss, Shock, Firebird, Bones, Peregrine, aka Kitsune, and we have Riptide with Pugsalad. That's you. Noodle, Volley, Carton, Big Red, and the Hazmat. Method. Since you and I aren't in this game, maybe we can get us started. You go first, though. Shoddy not.
All right. I'll start with Riptide. This is an interesting team because they're obviously a strong home site team with like these young players in Pugsalad and Noodle, who are beasts. They're so good. Had the joys of playing with them, and taught them a few things or two. Just run at people and win. So I hope to see a lot more of that. But yeah, they're really amazing players, and I think a lot of this team actually depends on them. And the rest are kind of built to support them. Carry the game themselves, and they're all obviously really good players. So they got some lefties. The Volley and Hazmat are lefties.
Yep.
And they're solid players, and so are Khan and Big Red. I just feel like they have a bit too much. I call defenders as much as you have defenders, and that's what I kind of don't like about the Riptide team. Is that there's no clear attacking players outside of Hug and Noodle, and I think that kind of hurts their kind of packing ability. They just think that's their weakness, is their ability to get pack. Often when they're getting bases, they're turning up 3 or 4 in the games. They've really got to figure out these ways to get around it, and I think that really determines their success on how much kind of their mechanical skills can push these other players through the bases. And I think a lot of it also depends on what type of Carden turns up. I feel like Carden sometimes is like a beast, and then other times is like a door defender. So if Carden can pop off, that will be a really big boost to this team. Storm's a funny team to me. Shock's a monster. Moss is so frustrating as a last line. He's really, really good, obviously. And obviously in their arena it's even harder. So they're a really good team. They should win this game. More often than not, really. Just in terms of, I think if they're versing another Queensland team, they actually have a huge advantage because they're so good against the Queensland teams. And they're used to it. I actually think maybe if an Aftershock snuck in here, it could be a completely different story and actually might be a lot harder for them. Especially as the interstate teams get more used to playing the arena. But I think if, Riptide are in here, Storm might just be able to take it. Just that kind of familiarity of how the game's going to play. But I think, all of our teams are kind of gunning for Storm's spot in that third place. we think we can have a chance, you know. So I think that's interesting. I think whenever I play Storm, I feel like they're beating me by cheese more than they're beating me by like firepower. I don't know
I
how
feel
you
like
guys feel like that.
I feel
You know, like I'm
I feel
always
a
being
little bit-
sniped
a
from
little
the
bit.
back and pestered, and then the dumps happen and something.
But they'll do a 3-man
you know.
hit and then they'll leave, and it's like a gust of wind. I'm like, and they've got my base. Like it's that sort of, you don't even see them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always more that kind of that cheesiness. Whereas you play against Spawns and Catalysts, and they're just like smashing into you with a battering ram. You know, it's like a completely different feel, and I think that's what doesn't put them on the same level as those teams. And that's where I think they need to be careful. Is to actually, you know, I feel like they just need to use Shock's godly abilities more whenever I've played them. I don't even want to tell him this, but you know, I just feel like he's getting underutilized. Whereas in Albury, he's like cooking way more compared to what was happening in 3-3. So that's my thoughts. I think if I had to predict this game, probably going to be Storm. I think they can just like handle Rampage's arena control really well. Kind of bully them. That's me.
That's method. Zem.
Hold on. It was you two
What?
to talk first.
Oh,
Just,
yeah, true,
Me and
true,
Pug
true,
winning the
true,
game.
true.
You're trying to get out of it
True,
again. Did's
Sorry,
not.
bro. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Who we got? We got Storm, Riptide, Rampage. I think it's going to be super hard for Rampage to beat Storm and Riptide in this game, so I'm putting you guys in third. Cop that.
Facts. What I just yelled at you. It's like, oh well, you're third. Fair enough.
I feel like I think the elephant in the room is that Storm has kind of been at one of the forefront teams for all of this dump shenanigans going on. But I can see a world. I'm just envisioning the game. Someone clip it. Things are happening. Storm dumps in the game, and they dump to Rampage, and Rampage crunch on them with 5, and they absolutely destroy the dump. And then Storm comes third, and then Rampage comes second, and then Riptide get a bunch of bases, and they win the game.
Got it. Thanks.
That's what I just tapped into the energies of the universe, and that's what I just saw.
Damn, 2 XP.
But if I was a betting man, I would bet Storm to win this game. And Rampage to come third, and Riptide to get a closely contested second with Storm. Yeah, I don't know. Storm, like they have. It's really hard for me to pick between Storm and Riptide. I feel like for me, Storm are more likely, like their baseline is probably higher than what Riptide's baseline is. But if Riptide's firing on all cylinders, then I could see Riptide potentially stealing a final spot. But again, if I was a betting man, I would probably put Storm in first, Riptide in second, and Rampage in third. And that's all I have to say. So ignore my manic bloody whatever this was.
Oh, I locked
Ignore
in.
that.
I wrote that down. Oh, I needed that.
You needed that? Amazing. Who's next? Sam or Pug? Or you? Plead your case.
I'll go, I guess.
Yeah, we haven't heard from your team, right? So you go.
Yep. I'm backing the boys, obviously. So
Obviously.
obviously, I'm putting us in first. I think we win this game.
Huge.
I think Storm have been training more than us as a team, which you can definitely say that that's why they probably deserve it more. But I think there's like a set 3 of us that have just been putting in a lot more effort. Like it's myself, Noodle, and Carton, which have been at the Sunny Coast for most of the trainings, if not all of them. Well, I had a break for a couple of days. too much, too many days. And then Hazmat, and then Hazmat has been coming to a lot of them as well. But yeah, I think we have a chance to win this, and I would love to see a final series. I think it'd be great. In saying that though, like what I said before, Rampage and Green, I'm shitting myself. So, like, we'll see.
Write that down.
Don't give him Green.
Write that down.
Yeah, but like, Green's
You've
smelly.
got color choice.
Yeah, but Green is smelly.
You don't got to take it. We just give it to Storm.
True, because we're going to be above them anyway. That's true. That's true.
Facts. You lean towards green base. We'll lean towards green base. We sneak a couple bases at each other. How do you do?
Holy.
That sounds like collusion to me, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just asking how he did.
True. How it could go.
How do you do?
How do you do? It's not collusion if you say, how do you do?
I don't know. Am I tipping a hat? I don't know what is that. I don't know what it's about.
Adjusting monocle.
Yeah. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I'm gonna back us to get to finals.
That's huge.
I do.
Mr. Zampion, you're up, bro.
I don't know. It's another really fun game, to be fair. Like, I think we're gonna see these similar games to these throughout the comp. My big things I've heard, Riptide are going crazy, as you've just said, with like training, and they're doing well, and they're taking games off everyone, and they're winning every game, and they're winning every game, and then they're taking games off everyone, and they're winning every game.
I don't know what you're hearing this.
So they're doing really, really well. We just barely got ahead of you, I think, in what just happened, pre-3, was it? Is that right? Well, we played next to each other? Pre-2? But then we didn't have our roster. You also didn't have your roster, I think.
For pre-3. No, for pre-2 we had our roster. But for pre-3 we
sorry. Pre-3 you didn't. Yeah,
Pre-3,
okay, sorry, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone back and forth a lot. I'm keen to see us go. I think you guys have higher base potential than us, like Riptide does, in terms of like clean bases among your players. Which is why we will of course play a game where no one gets that high amount of bases. So I think we're better in a slower game and a pack game than Riptide. The big issue is that Storm, I think, will do basically what Ryan has just done and be thinking about this game like 4 days before this happens. They'll be writing strats for this game when they're like in a solos match, I swear. Because Storm will anti-strat and they will think about this game 6 days ahead of time. They won't even have a team chat for this game because they'll already know what they're going to do. So I think they'll be fine in the slow start, and then they'll play a beautiful dumb game and take it. But I do think we have an edge over you guys in terms of the early game, and then I guess keeping up in the chaos and the dumb. So I have Storm, and then us, and then Riptide.
Amazing. Well, was that 3 of us had Storm winning this game? Is that correct?
I think so.
I think so.
That's a safe.
Okay. Method, who did you have winning out of Rampage and Riptide? I can't remember. I had Riptide winning.
I'm gonna have Rampage.
You have Rampage. Zam, did you also have Rampage winning?
Sure did. Just to be complicated.
I don't even know if Riptide will be in this game.
Whoa!
I think Rampage.
Nah,
will
we're
be.
making
I
it.
just
We're making
Lay it
it.
on thick, Method.
Oh,
Lay
sorry.
it on
No,
thick.
That's
true.
my
We
opinion.
are gonna be in the finals.
Oh no,
we are
sorry.
gonna be in the
You're
finals.
it's Sharks, right? Is it Sharks instead? Is that where you're at? Yeah, that's fair enough. That's good passion. Sorry, not
Okay.
passion. That's awful.
I reckon they're gonna get cascaded too hard. Cascaded too hard. By
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
No, we're chilling. We're chilling.
have to fight. Dan's got faith.
You can put one in, to be honest.
Who do I put in second and third? Because I had Riptide coming second. Pug had them winning, and then you guys had Riptide in
Rampage
third.
in seconds. Yeah. That's
How do we
correct.
do this?
Flip a coin.
All right, look, one sec.
Rock, paper, scissors between myself and Pug.
Yeah, go
I'm
right
ready.
now. On
Yeah,
stream.
Wait. Is it paper, scissors, rock, or rock, paper, scissors, shoot? What are we doing?
We're not ready.
Well, okay.
He's praying.
He's
praying
praying.
to the 50-50 RNG.
I'll go rock. I'll go rock.
Okay, I'm going scissors then.
Line game.
All right, ready?
Someone count us in and decide what the question that he said.
Wait,
as
what are we
well.
doing?
Okay,
Is
so
it-
you're just gonna do fuck shoot Fuck the rock, paper, just
Yeah,
rock,
what are we doing?
paper, scissors.
Rock, paper,
Like,
and on
okay,
scissors.
And shoot, or is it on scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors. Or
Okay,
rock,
I see.
Okay.
paper,
I see.
scissors. Or
Heard.
rock,
Heard,
paper,
heard.
scissors.
Okay.
Heard?
I got one.
Alright.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
In case you forgot, Pug is going rock and Zam's going scissors.
Scissors,
In case
yeah.
you forgot. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh.
Okay, double rock. Amazing.
Crazy.
You ready?
Crazy. I'm going rock again. I'm going rock
I'm
again.
going scissors again.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
It's tough. I'm going rock
Okay.
again. I'm going rock
We're gonna be
again.
here for a while, guys.
Zam's going
Popcorn.
scissors again. All right, ready?
Mhm.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my god, bro.
Holy hell.
Uh,
I'm doing two more of these, and then I'm just deciding.
That's fair. That's so fair.
Are you ready?
yeah. Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh!
Yeah!
There we have it, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
this isn't going to matter at all. Anyway.
What do you mean this isn't going to matter at all? This is the
No,
most,
you're
that
right,
was the
sorry,
most,
we just got-
It's just
Oh, we got
That
like
was the
second.
most-
Yeah, it's
that
not
was the
even
most
first, like-
important rock, paper, scissors of the
It's not
year.
even. Yeah,
bro.
Storm's laughing at the whole time during that.
Oh,
What the hell?
oh, Rampage twice. Interesting.
Oh, wait.
Amazing. So that's our last golden game. Riptide in 5th, Rampage in 4th by rock, paper, scissors, and Storm taking the win and going into our grand final game. Zzz, plural. I was tossing up whether we do this like 3 games, but we've already been going for 2 hours and 12 minutes, and so we're just gonna talk about the grand finals as a whole. Amazing. So let me get our grand final teams. And this, funnily enough, has worked out, at least the top 3 has worked out as the community predictions was. Amazing. Cool. So, the new people predicted first by the community. We have Catalyst, Dodge, Lilbo, Wax, Wham, Fox, Husky, Grub, and predicted second by the community. We have Spartans with Potato, Taipan, Stalker, Zeropa, and if you didn't know, now no longer the leg, we have Mad Cans, and we have Fuzzy and Queenie, but I'm assuming this is more of like a super backup sub, because
Yeah, or in the
unless
necessary-
Queenie's been training in secret and she's
was gonna
just going to
say.
come out as an absolute weapon.
When they want to win. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
when
I'm
when they're
ready for.
losing, they might,
I'm here
just-
for it. Queenie,
activate.
I want to see it, mate. That's all you, bro. Amazing. This is the grand final. I don't want to go first. Who's
Neither.
not?
I'm going first once, I guess.
Method, you haven't gone first for a while, so I'm going to get you to talk about this grand final first.
All right. I think Storm are a hard third.
Oh,
I find it really hard to see them being able to beat these other 2 teams. Just the pure firepower on these 2 teams are crazy. Sam's looking for some camera.
where'd you go? Go on.
So they really got to pull something out of their hat, I think, to get it. And I mean, that's kind of in their wheelhouse, though, is that they're trying to kind of outthink teams, outplay them. So, you know, I think it's a pretty safe bet. Yeah, I'm a certified hater. Sorry. But Spartans and Catalyst, just a monster. They are so hard to play against. They just run at you. They send bodies and they take it and they're gone and they're just like lying there like, oh, what happened? And are crazy good. Oh, I think Spartans will get second. I actually think Mad Cans joining the team late is something they need to sort out. Whereas at least, you know, they've had a while with the leg and sorting it out. So I don't know how he's going to fit in, what role he's going to take, how they're going to do their rotations with their 6. everything just kind of changes. Well, if they sort that out, they're obviously a terrifying team. Their depth is insane. They have a very good team. I'll shout out some of the players real quick. Like Taipan is like just a monster on the dueling, and running the games is crazy. Potato's crazy fast and just good at packing. Stalker's a beast. He's actually the GOAT. Go to here first. The Roper's crazy on a door. I actually hate going up a door against the Roper, especially when we're playing lockout. Ugh. The Mad Cans is like so smart to play with. Just like plays the game so naturally and has so much experience. I think playing with him, we've always talked about how good he was, but we asked him, hey, can you just fill this role for us? This is what we want you to do. And he instantly did it and played awesome. So, and then Catalyst. I mean, I'm never betting against these guys because they win all the freaking time. Legitimately, like when it comes to those tough games where they're in these crazy situations that they're in these, they always seem to come out on top. So I'm going to take them. It's that easy. Like Husky is the best last line we've had since started playing. Wax, kind of like can put like 10 shots into a base and still have a crazy score and grand final series. Like, they've just got so much talent on this team, and they're still pretty young. As I keep saying. So yeah. I think Lil Bo actually got like shafted by the Sing. Like crazy. He is an absolute monster.
What did he get?
He got a double B.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah, I will reject that.
Yeah. So like, he's an absolute monster, and like probably, I think he's the third best pack skill player on the team. So yeah, I'm just taking them based on the clutch factor more than anything.
And that's totally fair. I think I'm going to mirror you. I think it's going to be Catalyst winning this, Spartan second, Storm third. However, the big asterisk for me, as you kind of touched on it before, is so obviously Spartans, they no longer have the leg and they have Mad Cans, which for me, if you look at it from a purely like just looking at names, not considering how the teams play and the positions and stuff, you're like, oh, Mad Cans is like one of the best players ever. Like surely that's just like even though the leg is like solid, like Mad Cans is just one of the best players. Like that's a solid pickup. But as I was saying before, and as I've said a couple times, having a really solid last line is so important in this arena for the insurance policy, especially when you have people like Wax, people like Shock, people like Firebird, people like Dodge, like lunging you out and stuff. Having a really solid last line is going to be so important in this grand final series. The leg was the Spartans' last line. So it's not like Mad Cans is taking the position of like a door defender or like a first out or something. They've lost their last line and they've got Mad Cans.
Playing last line. Yeah.
So he's playing last line.
I think that's what I've heard. I think so. That's what I've heard. So it could be speculation, but
Taipan saying was he? I don't know, mate, because we don't see you enough in training. So, but that's as far as I'm aware. Was the leg was the last line for you guys? And I guess that's the big question mark for me is like where is Mad Cans going to slot in and how is the Spartans going to do without their last line or the guy that they've had, as far as I'm aware, training last line. Maybe that's just a big misdirect by Taipan in the chat. As far as I'm aware, that's the case. Anyway,
Spartan's playing last line.
Dude, so fun.
Amazing. Storm. I think there's a world where, like, if they make the right decisions in the games and stuff, they can maybe pull a second, but I don't see them doing any better than a second. And as you kind of said before, Method, the clutch factor from these Catalyst boys is just insane. I've said it before. I've been saying it a lot, like, privately, I guess. But you can have the perfect strategy. You can make all the right decisions. You can like be in all the right spots. Everything could be perfect. But when it comes time to, if I win this duel, we win the game. There's no one better than the Catalyst boys at doing that, and they've consistently done that. I mean, they're 4-time ZLTAC champions. Obviously, not all of them was at Worlds, but also like they won Worlds as well with Pug and Zam. You guys, yeah, I think it's so hard to bet against the Catalyst guys. So yeah, I've got Catalyst, Spartans, Storm, and that's my final thingy. Zam and Pug, you're up. Give us your thoughts.
Your words.
Okay. Yep. Same as everyone else, really. I think like Catalyst first, Spartan second, Storm third. Like general census. Talking to Cyrex again. We're talking. I didn't realize the change that Catalyst would have at the start versus like the start of training for Nats versus just before Nats is about to start. Like the difference is crazy because at the start, they were not training well at all. Like they were kind of bad, and like now they're like crazy. Like it's like an insane gap, an insane jump that they've done. It's I don't understand it, but it's like they've really locked in now. Maybe it's because Lilbo wasn't on their pre-2 team. Maybe. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, we crashed out with them. So.
I've heard it's a double B, so.
True, double B.
How much difference going to double B really make, Mike?
It's not really crazy. I don't know.
That's so fair. That's so fair.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't really have too much more different to say, really. I can see Catalyst just performing really well if they keep up how they've been training now, in the finals games.
It's amazing. Zam, you're up, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we can be slightly quick about it. I don't know. I do think there's a small gap right now between Storm and these two teams. I'm not sure if they're getting many wins over them in training. I'd be a little bit shocked if that was the case, since they seem to be dropping to several teams actually that we've already placed on this ladder. Catalyst I've heard great things as long as they hold their mental. Like if Wax, the A grade that he is, holds his mental, might do a little bit. Might be enough. I know because I've heard that I've seen him toss the first 4 minutes of a game before and had to have the rest of his team make sure that they're not already losing the game. So if he avoids that, I'm sure Catalyst will do well. They've always been demons. And yeah, you guys talk about them like they've locked in really, really hard, which I absolutely believe. Spartans will do super well as well. The Mad Cans pickup is pretty good. I don't know what their lineup is. I don't know yet who last line is. Is it now between like Potato, Fuzzy, and Cans maybe to be last line, depending on the base? I'm really not sure. But in terms of early game, I'm giving
Fuzzy Cans Europa sort of thing. I think.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, one of those three. I think it is.
It's just if I was to describe like the early game, I think Catalyst is strongest. Like mid game, Catalyst is strongest. Adaptability, Catalyst is strongest if they can find all 5 of their players. And dump strats, Spartans is probably strongest. But I'm not seeing a world where Catalysts are losing more than one game in finals. And I think it's going to be the Spartans and not Storm, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Amazing. Well, I think that probably decides it. Why was I scrolling up? There we go.
Type N's yapping way too much. This guy.
He's full of shit. This guy. He's
no
absolutely
idea, buddy. No idea.
Full of what he thinks is unspilled beans. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah. The captain of that team needs to reel him in. Cans, talk to that guy.
Reel this guy in. Amazing. Well, there we go. There we have it. Catalyst, they're winning ZLTAC 2025 because LSA said so. Spartans in second, Storm in third. And that's our final placements for everyone. There we go. I'm not going to go through and read everything again. I'll post a screenshot of this art so people can easily
find it.
What was it?
Talk about it and find the screenshot. Yeah, of this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for finishing my sentence.
Lord.
Absolute legend. I don't that went off elsewhere.
With
I was thinking about the Storm Rampage Riptide game again.
Yeah.
I was there again. Amazing. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Maybe.
He's gonna
If
stop
it wants
sharing the
to.
screen.
Oh.
Production assistant's a bit slow.
Jeez, yeah, bloody come on, mate. Pick up your game. Jeez. Anyway, that's it. ZLTAC 2025 predictions. That's amazing. We did that in 2.5 hours, 23 teams. For getting that done in one stream,
Holy.
that's not too bad. What do you guys think? My guests with us. What did you think of that that format? Did you enjoy that? Did you like that?
I think it was pretty smart.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was good.
It's pretty smart. Say it again.
Very fun.
Say it.
I think it was
Say it again.
quite intelligent of an idea, really.
Who? What kind of person would come up with such an
The
idea?
guy's a genius for coming up for it. Such a genius.
Yeah, whoever it is, like a last line probably somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, amazing. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you. Well, if I got placed in 7th, I'll take those compliments. Happy days.
True.
Yeah, what else have I got to say? Just to reiterate, if you didn't like a prediction, prove us wrong. That's that.
DM Holmes.
DM Holmes.
I told you the email.
True.
spam@lsa.com.
Spam@lsa.com.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, if you missed it at the start of the stream, I'm going to do a LSA most improved and MVP player. So that's going to be a Google form that comes out maybe at the start of the tournament. And the due date for those submissions will be the day before Ascensions, because I'm not going to include finals for that MVP thing. Yeah, if ZLTAC allows me, I will present a MVP and a most improved player award at the presentation dinner. Otherwise, I'll I don't know. I might just
Go to their
I don't
house.
know. I'll just go to your house and I will give it to you personally from Holmes.
The guy from LSA?
Mr. LSA at my door.
Is that the really intelligent guy that came up with that new predictions format?
So
Is that
you
you?
are an award enough to be here. That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say.
Funny when you
That's-
win both of them.
I was saying it would be so funny. I was saying not that I will, but I was saying it'd be so funny if I do this thing and I managed to get one of them somehow, and I do the Obama meme, and I just and for this award, and I just put it on myself, and I just walk off the stage. That would be such a farce.
Chin
That would
up,
be
bro.
so-
Chest out. That'd be so good.
That would be so fun. I'll own that moment if that happens. But what else? Yep, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And
Comp coming up as well.
What's that?
The comp coming up. Does all talk?
Oh yes, yeah, Oceanic Championships. Yeah, so if you I'll say it again in case you weren't here for the start, in case you missed it. Oceanic Championships is a European style tournament that's being run in Hobart 2026. I think it's around November, if I'm not mistaken. That was like the preliminary date we had. And the teams that are able to qualify, or the players that are able to qualify for that, is based on your results from other tournaments. So depending on how well you do at ZLTAC 2025, that could actually be a big swinging factor whether you're able to attend or not. So bear that in mind. Start thinking about, your teams, or maybe we have the super sub system, so you can have like 2 super subs and it doesn't impact your team's ability to qualify. Just things to start thinking about. That's all I've got to say. Method, Pugsalad, or Zam, you got any last bits you want to say?
Nope.
Keen to see you all in a week's time. Keen to
Yeah.
chat. Everyone lock in. Play well. Don't beat me. Lock in.
Lock in, but don't beat Zam.
Don't beat me. It's not allowed.
All right. Amazing. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. I had a great time. Thank you, chat, for joining me. Thank you, internet gods, for not cutting out my internet 3 times like the last fucking stream.
True.
Oh my days. I've got nothing else to say.
Bye, chat.
Goodbye, chat. Bye now.
Night night.